Welcome to Fullerton College Football on SportsNetUSA.net. Hey, I'm the old guy along with Corey Neyland and Ryan Osborn. We are the voices for Fullerton College Football, and we're going back old days, guys. Well, we got no picture tonight, so we're going to describe it and let you know what's going on in the field here. Corey Neyland, this is the game we've been waiting for. 2 back-to-back, Saddleback, Riverside. If we don't do business tonight, the season's halfway done.
Season's over if they don't take care of business tonight and don't take care of business next week. But it all begins tonight. If they come out like some teams we watched earlier in the day in that other level, then it's going to be a long night for Fullerton. Back deep is going to be Davion Small and Jeremy Gonzalez for the Hornets.
So the Hornets will be receiving. Saddleback will be kicking off. Your Hornets are 8-0. Saddleback is 5-3. They lost to Riverside last week, 39-0. They got whooped on, and they love to make it up against the Hornets tonight here at Saddleback Stadium. It's a beautiful night for football. We wish you were here. And what you can do is, if you're watching the video, turn down the volume, turn us up. We'll be the voice for Fullerton College Football, and we'll just use somebody else's picture here on SportsNetUSA.net. Gonzalez is going to take it at the 10. Goes up to the outside to the 30. Turns the corner, is down at the 35. Still waiting for somebody to run it back, guys. It hasn't happened all year.
Yeah, and it's been a little while for Fullerton. If I'm not mistaken, you have to go back to game number 3 last season to find that run back. But, Mark, the big thing here tonight is going to be all about the offense. Can this offense get into a rhythm? Can they get themselves going in the first 2 series? That's going to be the big catalyst. We know that the defense for Fullerton can always keep them in games with sensational plays, but can the offense get on the board first?
Brandon Nunez comes out. He's number 3 in the SCFA on this division at quarterback, averaging 206 yards per game. Had a good season. We'll see what Brandon can do tonight. First down and 10 at the 35 for the Hornets. Empty backfield. Nunez goes back, looks across the middle of the field. Incomplete pass.
A little late on the recognition to C.J. Broy. And good look downfield in pursuit, or in coverage, I should say, was Travis Arena. Nicholas Siatanuu is the center. Luke Torona is the left guard. Andrew Sanders, the second, the left tackle. Sammy Garcia, the right guard, and Dylan Nichols is the right tackle.
Gonzalez, Leland Smith out to the right. He had a great week. Handed straight up the middle. Nice little carry there by Garnett Davis, the third. Gets a gain of 3. It's going to bring up a third down and a long 7 for the Hornets. So Gonzalez will stay in to the near side of the field. C.J. Broy goes to the far side of the field. Leland Smith, who had a great game, to the near side of the field with Gonzalez. Third down and 7. Nunez goes back, comes to pressure, throws it right there. C.J. gets a hand on it and picks up a first down. So C.J. Broy sticks out the hand and makes the catch.
Yeah, and Mark, beautiful description there, because that's all he did. He just stuck his hand out, hoping that it would catch a little bit of the glove, create enough friction to stick in his hand, and he bobbles it, brings it to his chest, secures it, and gets that first down.
First down and 10. Right at the 45. Garnett Davis III in the backfield. Nunez at quarterback. They hand it to Garnett Davis III. He gets stopped and tackled, bounced backward, and taken down again. No gain on the play.
And that is Amposta with the tackle. Amposta on the season, 27 tackles, 1.5 sack, and 4 tackles for 1.5 sacks, 4 tackles for loss for the linebacker. Saddleback runs at 3-3-5. They've been running that for years.
Ty Dillon now comes out at wide receiver, the near side of the field. Broy in the slot next to him. Second down, a long 9. Quick little pitch underneath. Gain of 8 on the play. And guys, they ran that last week and it worked too. You fake it to the running back. It's a two-handed push shot. gain of 8 on the play.
Yeah, that stretch to Vakapuna on that left side. And then that Chief Kansas City play that they run with Kelsey and Mahomes, that's Cameron Woods and Brandon Nunez up the middle.
They give him a first down. So down at the 38, the Hornets are moving. Nunez goes back, looks over, misthrows as his receiver stops on the route. And it's basically, Corey, I thought the receiver should have kept going. Nunez thought he had a spot. Receiver stops, incomplete pass.
Yeah, good coverage by Diamato for the Bobcats. Michael leads the team in tackles and 2 interceptions this season. And that's Cameron Wood, 17 catches this year. Being utilized early in this one, Mark.
As he should be. Gonzalez in the slot to this side. Dillon outside him on the right side. Vakapuna now in at running back. Handed off to Vakapuna. Vakapuna goes off tackle, gets a gain of maybe 1, averaging 51 yards a game this season when he touches the football.
Jordan Springer is there. One of the many linebackers that they used and rotate.
But guys, when you look at the rushing game for Fullerton, you look at the averages for each guy. Vakapuna around 57, 32 from Garnett Davis III, and then you also add in the legs of Brandon Nunez. They're sitting at about 115 from just those 3 guys throughout each and every game. So it's not all just one guy, 3-headed attack.
They give it to Vakapuna again, straight up the middle. Nice little dive play all the way down to the 13. Right off center and guard, Corey. The hole opened and he was off and running.
23 yards, and you're expecting a pass play on 3rd and 7, but they were going for it. This was 2 plays, and right up the middle, as you mentioned, Garcia and Sia Tanu'u created that hole for a first down.
Jordan Tate on the slot on the right side. Leland Smith outside of him. C.J. Broy to the far side of the field. Vakapuna at running back. Nunez, shotgun. First down and 10 at the 14. C.J. Broy comes in a few steps. Nunez goes out. Back corner, Bob's house, touchdown Hornets.
Outstanding play call on the corner from Stewart from Nunez. They ran C.J. Broy as a square out, 5 and out, and then they run Stewart from the slot, and the safety wasn't there to pick up. Easy pitch and catch for the Hornets.
So in the first drive, the Hornets moved down the field methodically to get on the board first. Ball will be spotted at the 10. You add 10. The kick is up. And the kick is good. With 11:09 to go in the first quarter, will the Hornets get on the board first? It's Fullerton 7, Saddleback 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
You know, I want to go shopping.
You know what? If you want to go shopping, we need to go back to Fullerton, the discount markets of Fullerton, located between Chapman and Commonwealth on Raymond. I just went there earlier today, got my grocery shopping done before this football game, came flying down here. Best deals, best product, best people in the world. Discount markets of Fullerton. Thank you, Mr. Neyland. I knew you were going to remind me of something.
And you know, I'm just glad we're up and running tonight. Even though it's an audio-only broadcast, we're here for you. Like Mark said, turn us up, turn that one you're watching down, and listen to us as we are the visiting team here at Bobcat Stadium. So audio only, which was granted. So back deep is Paolo Barak and Jackson Hagopian. Barak is on the far side, and he gets it.
Barak gets it at the 8. Barak looks for it. Cuts to the outside.
I was giving him more presidential.
See, you get comedy with us, not just music and dance, but you get comedy. We're like a musical here on Sportsnet USA.net.
And Burek, the returner, Mark, second leading rusher.
So sometimes out of key, sometimes out of tune, but we always get the production done.
Burwald comes in at quarterback. Bernstein Burwald. Got beat up last week against Riverside, we were told. Little pitch around the corner, looking to turn it, staying at home. We get a flag on the play that's probably going to be going backwards.
And it will be. Eric Hill was being held on the outside to create that corner.
Number 52 of the offense.
So Burak, who comes around, has that one negated by a penalty. So we're going to move him back 10 yards. Montecero, who's got some really nice numbers here for Saddleback. Burak goes back, across the middle, threads the needle there. Gain of about 13 on the play. So they get that to move it up the thing. They're going to say 2nd down and 7. Burwald goes back, looking to go back the same direction. Missed on an opportunity, Corey, to make an interception and can't do that. And a nice little catch right there by Will Craven. Craven, 5'9", 175 pounds, pulls that one in for Saddleback. First down, right at the 36.
That was Jamari Griffin who tried to jump that route on the right-hand side. We've seen him do that twice and get 2 picks off of it, going all the way back to that Canyons game.
Burak takes it himself, goes to the outside, goes out of bounds right at the 45-yard line.
And, Mark, that was one of the things that they told us that Burwald will do. Brandon is good on the outside.
Brandon Burwald, I'm sorry. Ryan pointed that out to me. I had the wrong last name, so it's Brandon. Excuse me, Corey, didn't mean to interrupt you. Burwald at quarterback. Hornets look like they're coming. They back off. Burak, the running back, goes from right to left. Burwald at quarterback. Burak, the running back. First down and 10. This time Burwald gets it. Burak. I'm getting the 2 B's confused here. That's Burak. That's Burwald. Burak's the running back. Burwald's the quarterback.
And up front, running behind Ethan Wheeler, Christian Herrera, Hunter Lynham, Davis Tice, and Darren Wianco.
So Burwald at quarterback. Burak at running back. 2nd down and 3 right across midfield. Straight across the middle. Nice little pitch and catch taken there. Edgar brings that one in.
Team's leading catcher, and he's the team's leading receiver on the season. 25 catches now. We'll set that Hornet D in just a moment.
Montecero now in at running back. They hand it off to Montecero, going out to the right side, cutting in at end. We're going to get a flag.
Carlo Torres got up the field quickly, and he was being held on that right side.
Number 61 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
So they're going to move Saddleback back on that one.
And that's Ethan Wheeler who gets called for the hold. Torres leads the team in sacks. On the outside, also Eric Hill on the outside. On the right side, interior is Ant Harris and Jordan Crawford.
So Edgar to the near side of the field. Montecero, the running back. Cross straight middle. Catch taken after a gain, a minimum gain of maybe a yard on the play.
Biso with the tackle. So we're just going to call his last name Tito Wow now. Because every time he makes a play, you're like, wow, good play by Biso. He's joined by Jeremiah McNeely, the team's leading tackler. Middle linebacker is Chris Harm.
2nd down and 17 for Saddleback. Run out, halfback option, going down deep. Ball in the middle of the field, and they just couldn't get it to Carrillo Edgar that was trying to go down there. Ryan, it didn't seem to fake out anybody.
Yeah, initially looked like he was going to try and move it over to his left, get into open space, so that way there was more of an opportunity to throw that with momentum. Instead, the Fullerton defensive line had penetrated into the backfield, doesn't give them a clean look. So by the time he goes to hoist it, he's just throwing it with his shoulder rather than the arm.
Manacero stays in the backfield. Burwald back. The big third down play. Run a little screen. Tried to get it to Manacero and could have easily been picked off right there.
Carl Neesmith almost had that interception. Bisto almost had it when it came down. Great play by the defense for the Hornets. KD back deep for Fullerton.
You stand at the 10. So the defense stands up with 7:10 to go. They're up 7-0 here in the first quarter here on SportsNetUSA.net. Off the side of the foot. It's going to die right at the 22. So it'll be first down and 10, and we're going to get a flag thrown at the 15. Little chicanery down there?
Maybe.
It looked
Well,
like
there was holding on the Hornets. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like there was a hold going towards the football when they went for that all-out block. They brought everyone.
And I didn't see if there was anyone in the backfield being held, so it's probably going to be offset. Did you?
Fouls on both teams. Holding number 57 of the offense. Holding number 4 of the receiving team. Those penalties offset. Replay, fourth down.
That's exactly what you and I were talking about there, Corey. One on offense, one on the defensive side, and both teams end up getting a hold.
So Jacob Moore is called for the hold. So Dylan Sprague goes back out there. So Karns back. He'll stand at the 15 for the Hornets. Sprague. High. Easy one. Kadari Karns sort of looked like he was going for it and then backed off, and a smart thing that he did, because standing right there was Tanner Gunnell, who, if all of a sudden he gets knocked free,
Exactly.
we've got a scrum.
And that's
going
what
on.
they did against Palomar. Their first score of the game was a turnover by the Comets to allow them to score. Beautiful night for football. Got kind of dark real quick, though.
It did, especially up here.
Yeah, all our prep is in the darkness now. We're like Batman.
Guys, really quickly, I want to thank everyone who is joining us here online on our audio-only stream from across the country. Whether you're in Tomball, Texas, or here in Southern California, we welcome you. Thank you for joining us here on SportsNetUSA.net.
First down and 10 for the Hornets on the 13. Nunez goes back, throws it straight across the middle. Just about enough. I think they're going to mark him, Jordan Tate, just a little short. Across the middle, Tate grabs it. He gets 9 yards on the reception.
And, guys, even though the Bobcats have 10 interceptions this year, Fullerton is becoming a more well-rounded passing team as this season has gone by.
C.J. Broy comes to the slot, the near side of the field. Bakapuna, running back. Nunez hands it off to Elvis. He breaks it at the 30. It's a foot race at the 40, the 50, the 40, down to the 38-yard line on a straight dive playoff tackle.
You know, we thought he was going to get his longest run of the season. That's only 40-plus. His longest has been 51.
First down and 10. Nunez goes back, going deep down the corner for the big hit. Incomplete pass. I got to ask you, Ryan Osborn, about Elvis running down the field.
Yeah, Elvis with great vision on that left-hand side, but I want to give credit to the offensive line. Sia Tanu'u is the guy who sets that initial block. He gets the ball back and is able to shuck off the first defender and get into the second level and set the lead block for Elvis to be able to get into the clear. Without that block, it's not a 40-yard gain.
2nd down and 10, right at the 38. Garnett Davis the third, now in the game at running back. Nunez runs a pass play, throws it a little high, and what they do is they fake an end around. They try to go to Gonzalez coming back to the center of the line, overthrows Jeremy's head. 3rd down and 10.
Braden Cook also in there on the interior. He's now in for Taronis at the left guard position.
Dillon's out wide to the right. Gonzalez in the slot. Now they're going to clear people out. Jordan Tate comes back on the field. So we'll go trips to the right-hand side. C.J. Broy, Leland Smith, and Jordan Tate are your 3 receivers on the right-hand side. C.J. Broy, let's see what happens with him. They go back the opposite. Thrown there, you turn, the ball is there waiting for you, Ryan Osborn, you don't pull it in.
And I think it was a little bit behind Leland Smith as he turned. He was expecting on the outside, had to come back on the inside, but you know what wide receivers say, if it hits the hands,
should catch it.
And the other thing is the timing of it too. That ball is let go well before he even gets into his break over towards the sideline. So by the time he turns around, it's already on him.
4th down and 10. Nunez rolls out. Goes back the other direction. Wide open, no one around. And Corey Neyland, I'm going to go to you.
that's got to be on the receiver because Brandon Nunez knew he was throwing towards the end zone. Leland Smith was breaking that off on the outside. He had the man beat, and Nunez was just throwing to a spot. So it was a out or a slant and go. Not really a slant, it was like a post and go, a post corner route. And it just wasn't there because of the miscommunication on the left side of your field as Saddleback now going right to left.
Burwald comes back in at quarterback. Paulo Burak, the running back. 1st down and 10 at the 35. Burwald holds it up, throws the middle of the field, picked right there by the Hornets. Down to the 20, down to the 15, the 14. Traffic jam in the middle of the field, and everybody stopped at the bus stop.
Tito, wow. I'm telling you, that's his last name from now on. Biso with another interception, his 4th of the season. The ball was thrown in the middle of the field, and he's already there and always there to make the big play. And Defensive Player of the Year in the SCFA in their division could be Biso, McNeely, and Harm.
And you look at the way that he does that too, Corey. He goes off of his guy initially, shakes off the route because he can see that that guy is coming across the middle. So he lets his guy go at the tight end position to be able to cover that area, and it allows him to be in front of it because he's able to pick up on what Saddleback had already tried to do on the previous series.
Hornets come out. Smith to the far side. Run around. Smith get it. Leland on a reversal, hurls the defender and gets all the way down. They're going to mark him down at the 1, so they come on basically a reverse with the receiver. He comes around on an end around, hurdles it, takes it to the 1. Leland Smith does it all.
Yeah, they're going left to right, and Leland Smith, outstanding job of hurdling.
1st down and goal for the Hornets. Garnett Davis III gets stood up at tackle, gain of maybe a half a yard.
And Tanner Gunnell was there to make the tackle, but again, the athleticism for Leland Smith, who had 9 catches and 212 yards. The last time we were watching Fullerton College against Palomar 2 weeks ago, almost scores there.
And what's interesting, too, is you saw him set up the timing on that hurdle. He could see it well before it actually happens. He's setting up his strides. He gets 1, 2, and in rhythm is able to go up into the air. So it's not reactionary basis. He saw the opportunity and went with it.
I formation for the Hornets. We get a flag before anything happens.
Yeah. And maybe it was a new cadence from Garrett Larson instead of Brandon Nunez. It may have had his team jumping.
Number 62 of the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Braden.
So we have a new quarterback in the game. Garrett Larson stays in. Vakapuna at running back. Second and goal from the 7. The Hornets trying to get up by 14. Larson has the ball come down by his feet. Throws it away. Incomplete pass.
And luckily that was an incomplete pass, because if it had been a better pass, it would have been picked 6.
So Larson, C.J. Broy goes to the far side of the field. Third down and goal from the 8. Vakapuna still the running back. Larson at quarterback. And Elvis had a gang of individuals and a flag on the play.
We may see a face mask on that far side. You had 2 different guys who were wrapping him up, and then you saw his helmet twist to the right-hand side before he ends up getting tackled.
Personal foul, face mask, number 34. That's half the distance to the goal. First down.
You got good eyes for a young guy, don't you?
Keyword young.
May have taken 9 years, but I've learned football a little.
Gonzalez in the slot on the right side. Leland Smith goes wide to the right. Larson at quarterback. First and goal now at the 5 for the Hornets. Larson keeps it himself, tries to turn the corner. He hits the pylon. They're going to mark him out of bounds as guys he slid on his side and didn't get into the end zone.
Excellent play by Travis Arena, who takes his ankles out from underneath him so he couldn't get the pylon.
Second and goal for the Hornets at the 2. 3:37 to go here in the first quarter. Tight formation for the Hornets. Garnett Davis III went a little forward. Looks to go to the right side. Flag is down, and he didn't get in. It looked like Garnett Davis III was moving forward, and Ryan says holding.
Number 7 in the offense. 5 down penalty.
Yeah, illegal
Illegal
motion, illegal
shift.
shift, whatever you want to call it, false start. He was, because he knew he was getting the ball. So he rocked forward just a little bit, Mark. You called it. And that'll back him up 5. And I think this is an advantage.
Give him more room.
Give him more room and a lot more variety.
So second and goal from the 7. Larson stays in at quarterback.
Second and goal for the 6.
C.J. Broy in the slot on the right-hand side. Smith out wide right. Goes straight up the middle. Goes nowhere, and the middle is not working for the Hornets.
Okay, maybe backing him up 5 yards is an advantage. As Vakapuna, Elvis comes up a little bit slow as he's bending over. He's going to need someone.
Well, he's stopping Corey. It looks like he wanted it, and then all of a sudden he stops, and then he looks like he says, no, I can stay.
Because I'm not getting the ball, so that's okay. Pick up a big block.
Look for your tight end on this play right here. Third and goal from the 8. Larson says, where is Woods? Hands it one more time off the right side. Vakapuna gets down to the 2. It'll be field goal time after a beautiful interception and an opportunity, because of penalties, Ryan Osborn, more than one to get in the end zone.
Yeah, and it's tough to develop a rhythm when, like you mentioned, those penalties force you to have to change up what you're going to call inside the red zone. You get that big play on defense, and like we said at the start, the big play on defense, you knew it was coming. It's a matter of whether or not the offense can get themselves into a rhythm.
Ball is spotted, kick is up, and the kick is good. With 1:36 to go. here in the first quarters. It's now your Hornets 10, the Bobcats 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
Faubert is now 8 of 9 on the season for field goals. All-conference last year, looks to repeat as all-conference this year.
You look at the rankings right now, Fullerton, number 4 in the rankings for the CCCAA or the JCAB poll. Saddleback in the JCAB football poll, number 19 in the CCCSIA Sports Information. It's number 20. 5-3 for Saddleback. Fullerton looking for number 9, and when we get a chance, we'll find out what's going on at Riverside against San Diego Mesa. Correct. Back deep again. Burak at the 10. Goes to 20. Cuts up to outside. Gets all the way over to 30. They're going to mark him down at the 32.
In on the tackle, 36, Antoine Johnson.
So Burwald will bring him out at quarterback. Comes back out.
And it'll be interesting to see if the Fullerton College defensive ends can contain now. They got beat a couple times. Bisso's interception negated that. Hill and Junior Kennedy on the outside.
Sears in the slot to the near side of the field. Burwald looks over. High snap. Straight up the middle. And the down 4 lineman for Fullerton. I was talking to Brian Crooks before this game started. I said, you know, you look at the percentage of sacks and tackles for loss, they've got 80% of that, Corey, those 6 together.
Yeah, because they're able to. Ann Harris with the tackle there. Terrence Hansbrough also on the interior.
Burwald looks things over. Trips to the left. Sears in the near slot. Burwald taking his time. Goes back, looks over the direction we're going. Big throw, up, catch, and climbing the ladder and making a heck of a catch on that one was Strong. 5'9", he looked like he was 6'3" going up the ladder.
Yeah, 16th catch of the season. That's his longest reception. And again, Quentin Ashford was there, but misread the loft on that ball.
Strong saves on the near side of the field. Burwald goes back to Strong behind the line of scrimmage, and then Burwald gets flattened. Not Burwald, but Strong gets flattened on the reception.
But I want to go to Quentin Ashford on that play right there. He not only gets past his block, but pushes the offensive wide receiver into the guy with the football. So it allows for him to not be able to get to the edge and force him back into help. So right afterwards, Ashford is able to make up for it.
Yeah, Ashford's playing that right side corner. DeJuan Grant, safety on the right side. Kadari Karns on the left.
And that brings us to the end of the first quarter. As we come to the end of the first quarter, it's your Fullerton College Hornets 10, the Bobcats of Saddleback 0, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Thanks for playing along with us tonight here on Sportsnet, USA.net. That's right, we don't got pictures. Well, we could do some drawings and put them on the screen for you. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn, Gabby Neyland, sitting over there saying, yeah, I'm watching you guys on my pad right now. And the old guy just taking you on the journey down here. Corey Neyland and I have some great memories here. 2013, Corey Neyland, the greatest play that we saw?
Now, yeah, I was going to say the best play, and I'm going to cause some controversy. The best play in Fullerton College football history happened in 2013, a 90-yard play.
Eli was coming.
Fourth down and 10. Jose Escobar out route to Eli Pleasant down the right sideline, going left to right as Saddleback is going right now. 90 yards, touchdown, and the rest is a state playoff appearance.
National championship, almost, in 2013. Almost. Second down and 9. Up the middle again. No play, no money, no yardage. Saddleback struggling here early in the game.
2 plays, 2 tackles by Ant Harris. He goes out along with Hansborough, and now Carlo Torres, who plays outside and inside for the Hornets, comes back on the inside along with Eric Hill, who plays outside and inside as well.
Burak back in at running back. Sears and Edgar to the near side of the field. Burwald hands it to Burak up the middle. Burak gets a gain all the way out to the 40, but that's going to bring up a 4th down, and we'll see how Saddleback plays the game. Oh, they get a 1st down. Thought they were just a little short. They give him the marker, move the chains. So a little surprise on me on that one. Strong in the slot to the near side of the field. Edgar right there. Pierce now in at running back. Quarterback scramble up to the 35. It's down.
And I heard you two talking to the defensive guys before the broadcast, and they were talking about that first couple possessions for San Diego Mesa when the quarterback was going wild, running up and down the field. Linebackers were turning their heads. At that time, they pretty much held contained.
Yeah, they did. Ezekiel Pierce, I like that name. Running back now for Saddleback. Thank you, Ryan Osborn, for pointing that out to me. Need all the help I can get, my friend. Burwald still in at quarterback. Pierce says, thank you, Ryan Osborn, for letting the old guy know who had it, but I didn't go nowhere. As he goes off the right side, and Ryan, he walks into a white wall of jerseys.
Yeah, and that left side of the Fullerton College defense immediately was able to read that in the backfield. And you had 3 different Hornets who were in the vicinity. Mark, that's the one thing that we have seen so far early in this game. They have been able to wrap up and make their tackles.
Big 3rd down early here in the 2nd quarter for Saddleback. 3rd and 7. Right at the 35-yard line. Ezekiel Pierce goes from right to left, strengthen up the formation. Hornets don't look like they're coming. They stay back, straight with the forward. They play it straight up. Quick little pass. Nice pitch and catch. Right on the money, and it was right there for a big play. And I always have the wrong sheet in front of me as Strong makes it and makes the catch. Strong now goes to the far side of the field. Carrillo Edgar stays to the near side of the field. Pierce stays there at running back. Burwald at quarterback. Strong now in the slot at the far side. Looks over at the sideline, says, give me a sign. Finally get it. 1st down and 10. Across the middle of the field. Right there on the money, too. And that's Carrillo Edgar. Picks it up.
And again, they're getting quick hitters where it's basically a button hook or a square out. They're getting good.
Burwald keeps it himself, straight up the middle. Tries to get across the line of scrimmage, does not.
Yeah, Jeremiah was there for the tackle. He's got 56, which leads the team.
But it's enough for a 1st down. They move the chains down to the 14. Bobcats are on the move. 1st down and 10 at the 14. Hornets look like they want to come. Burwald looks over to the sidelines. Clock ticks away. Moves Pierce from left to right in the backfield. Edgar stays out far to the right. We get a jump. It's a free play. They go over into the flat. Incomplete pass, but we're going to play it again.
And there's going to be 2 flags on the play. One in the end zone is going to be PI against Carrillo Edgar. So these are going to offset. So moving left to right, they try to go to the right side of the end zone against Quentin Ashford. Ty Milton on the other side.
Offsides, number 92 of the defense. Passing interference, number 14 of the offense.
And that's something, guys, that if you're on the offensive side of the field and you see Quentin Ashford go up for the football, you let him catch it. Reason being because you know that it's a free play, so you're going to get the ball right back. In that situation, no need to tug on his jersey because you're going to get that football back.
Strong to the left. Edgar to the right. Ezekiel Pierce, the running back. Burwald rolls out. Looks to go across the middle of the field. Picked by the Hornets at the 1.
And is that DeJuan Grant? It is DeJuan Grant with the interception. Sliding interception at the 1. Burwald was rolling to his left side, throws back over his body, across his body, and can't understand who he was throwing to. But again, he missed both receivers, and Grant was there to keep that 10-0 lead.
It was actually miscommunication by the receivers. One guy was supposed to go up in the slot and then go out towards the pylon on the left-hand side. He stops right at the goal line, and that throw splits both guys because it was supposed to go back towards the pylon, and that's where the route was. But he doesn't end up getting that same page with the receivers, and it ends up as a turnover.
So Brandon Nunez comes back in at quarterback. 1st and 10 at the half-yard line.
Mark's going to call a 99-yard touchdown.
Well, if I do, it's not on this play. As they sneak it out to get a little room on the play.
Okay, maybe 97. Hey, Fullerton had a good first quarter with those 10 points.
So a gain of 2. They're going to move it all the way out to the 3. So Corey Neyland says, well, you want 97 yards, Mark? Here you go. I formation for the Hornets. Up off right tackle. Gain of about 3. That's going to make it a workable 3rd down at the 8-yard lines. And guys, is this where you sort of play gunslinger and fling it up? You're up 10-0 here in the second quarter.
No, you played a little bit safe right here. Vakupuna, Elvis did a nice job of getting that 3rd down and manageable. You simply want to pick up the 1st down, and then you work.
So Corey Neyland says, well, we'll look for Gonzalez as we have the officials stop and talk to each other. He's in the slot to the near side of the field.
So that's Andrew Sanders II. The left tackle. He's going to limp off the field.
It's an injury. Since he has an injury, this is why they're taking him out, replacing him. Safety for the student athlete. Comes off the field to the applause of the Fullerton fans.
And Mark, Cameron Woods is your tight end on this play.
This is where I look for him. Run it off. And our quarterback takes off running. Brandon Nunez says, Mr. Neyland, I'm going to try and go as far as I can. Goes down the right side, takes it all the way down to the 41-yard line on a great fake, and then basically a run by Nunez.
51 yards by Nunez. Again, off that right side, that's his longest run of the season.
Nunez comes out, goes back, has time, middle of the field. On the money, touchdown Fullerton College.
Like we said, pick up that 1st down, then you go to work. 4 plays, 99 yards for 6.
And you know what? Going back to that run, a lot of credit has to go to C.J. Broy on the outside because he's able to set that lead block. And not only did he set that lead block, he gets himself out of it and runs upfield with Nunez, and it allows for that big rush to take place.
And you see the block pick up by Garnett Davis as well on the interior. And again, precise routes being run by the Hornets.
Faubert comes in, ball is spotted, kick is up. I'm waiting for somebody.
Kick was good, but there is a flag in behind the play. So neither official ended up giving the signal.
Illegal substitution by the defense, so it's refused. I kept waiting for somebody to say at least it was good. Now they did.
And so, Mark, it's 17-0 early in this second quarter. Is this what you expected, or as we were driving, this is what you needed to happen, you said?
Yeah, this is what I thought needed to happen. They needed to get out hot. They have been slow starters, and I had a discussion with some of the staff. They explained to me why, and it was interesting. One of our good friends that was sitting on the sideline said, hey, we need to get out hot today. That was Brian Crooks. These 2 games, we can't start the game behind. they've done what Brian Crooks, the defensive coordinator, said they needed to do.
Yeah, and Garrett's done a nice job of exploiting the middle of that Saddleback defense. Down that reception there, 41 yards. But again, it was Cameron Woods one-on-one with the linebacker. That's advantage Woods. And you saw there, and Brandon Nunez
On the money.
kind of came into his own last year in this game, making a few key runs in the fourth quarter. Here, does it in the second quarter.
Well, when I started this game tonight, I said how he's number 3 in this conference as a passer. I know people like gaudy numbers, but he has excellent numbers as a quarterback. Burak takes it, cuts at the middle, looks to go to the outside, all the way across the 30 to the 32. So with 9:05 to go here in the second quarter, it's the Hornets 17, the Bobcats 0. And I tell you what, that should get your hunger camera going right now in that tummy. And if it is, you need to go out shopping at halftime and say, hey, Discount Markets, what do you got for me today? And make sure that you can get what you're looking for.
Out-of-town scoreboard, guys. Riverside 14, San Diego Mesa 0 as they start the second quarter.
Burwald comes out at quarterback. Pierce at running back. Quickly throw it over. And Corey, throw it to a receiver, and you had Carrillo Edgar not even looking for a pass in his direction.
Yeah, he wasn't expecting it. Jordan Little did a nice job of accelerating. But again, he's a new cornerback on the near side.
Lyon, watch the tight end on this near side. Carrillo Edgar in the corner. Lyon, the tight end. Burwald, the quarterback. Pierce still at running back. They hand it off to Pierce. Off a left tackle. Quick opening hole. Gets up. Ball comes out. Hornets have it.
And I think that was Kadari Karns who laid the hit on Pierce. Carlo Torres comes up with the fumble recovery.
Moving on the field is fumble by offense, recovered Fullerton, first down.
And that was Kadari. Forces the fumble. Carlo makes the recovery.
And it's so difficult for a runner when you get wrapped up between your ankles. You're trying to fight out of that, and that's where your focus is. When the last guy comes in, like Kadari, and cleans up the rest of that hit, you're not necessarily paying attention or bracing for it, so it's a surprise to you. That's what knocks the football out.
And, Mark, it's unfortunate for Pierce because he's had a few strong runs in the first half.
Yeah, it really is. He's looked good out there. Brandon Nunez comes back out at quarterback. Gonzalez to the near side of the field. In the slot. Leland Smith outside of him. Nunez goes back. Feeling good. Middle of the field. C.J. Broy says, it's my turn. And the ball is out. Incomplete pass. Broy had it, guys.
Yeah, it was.
Holding, number 7 in the offense. 10-yard penalty.
Which it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But Brandon Nunez is looking sharp. I mean, I tell you what, he looks like me in a 3-piece suit right now. He's that good looking out there.
And that's why it's audio only. Again, perfect throw, though.
Yeah, he's his timing is down. Ryan, we've talked about him being a timing quarterback. He looks smooth tonight.
Yeah, it's all about the rhythm with him. When it comes to delivering the football, we talked to Garrett Campbell earlier in the season. He mimicked that as well. He said if he's in rhythm, it looks sweet.
Brandon pump fakes, goes back across the middle. Quick little dump. Ball comes out. Incomplete pass. Saddleback wants to say it was a fumble, caught and hit. But that's not the case. It's just an incomplete pass as Broy got sandwiched on the play.
That was Travis Arena, who, again, form tackle, brings him down to the turf. Incomplete pass. Legal hit, too. As he makes the catch, as he turns around, Arena is there, and Broy on 2 plays on this possession comes out on this one.
Leland Smith comes to the near side of the field. Over there with Jordan Tate. Looking for Jordan to speak up a little during this game. He's in the slot nearest to us. Nunez at quarterback. 2nd down and 20 for the Hornets, right at there. Straight dive up the middle. Gain of 4 on the play. So Elvis gets a few more numbers added.
Guys, around Southern California real quick. Mount San Antonio. Mount Sac 14-0 over Long Beach with 13:13 left to go in the second, and it's scoreless between Golden West and Cerritos with about 5 minutes left in the second.
So an exciting game going on down there.
It's about 5 big games going on tonight. El Camino and Ventura is another one in the Northern League.
So with 8:04 to go, it's the Hornets 17, the Bobcats 0 here on sports@usa.net. Ryan, I don't know if you have any more updates or if that was it for right then.
I do indeed. Another check with the Riverside game. It's 17-0. Riverside with the lead. The Ventura game is scoreless at the moment.
So that gives you the update. So if the scenario plays out that Fullerton holds on here, Riverside holds on in their game, next week, the 12 noon game is for the conference championship, and we'll have a say on who makes the playoffs and who will be going where. Are you a number 1 seed? Are you a number 4 seed? Are you going to have any more games at home? Or if you're on the road for the entire turn of the state playoffs. So Nunez brings them out. Big 3rd down. Smith to the near side of the field. Tate still in the slot next to him. Gonzalez to the far side of the field. Nunez, once again, straight up the middle. So sidestep, drops ahead. Down to the 35 is Vakapuna. I tell you what, he's got little tricky feet for a bigger man.
Yeah, he's got over 70 yards already in the first half of play.
Vakapuna goes from right to left. Fullerton for another 4th down. Saddleback almost jumps. Nunez brings him up. Gives a hand sign to everybody. Nunez looks. Hands it off to Vakapuna. Vakapuna stays on his feet, gets sandwiched, and Saddleback's defense comes up with a big stop.
And a stop they needed, because if Fullerton converts that 4th down, again, the way their offense has been cooking tonight, it'd be hard to come back if they would have kept that drive going and scored another 6 or even a field goal. 20 points is a big deficit.
7:25 to go here in the first half. It's the Hornets 17. Saddleback 0 here on Sportsnet. USA.net. Burwald comes back out. Manacero in at running back. Get timeout Fullerton. So Fullerton calls a timeout. That's their 2nd one of the half. I always tease about discount markets of Fullerton. I go there all the time and go shopping. So if you have time, if you live in the area, if you're around the area, take a ride between Chapman and Commonwealth on Raymond. Discount markets of Fullerton. Go on in and take a look. Say hi to Jenna, Isabel, the 2 owners of the store, and go and look at their products, look at their prices, and all of a sudden discover what we have, all 3 of us, Ryan, Corey, myself, have discovered when we go in there. New product, great prices, and a wide variety of products you will use. That's discount markets of Fullerton. Manacero comes back out at running back. Burwald at the quarterback. Carrillo Edward at the near side of the field. 1st down and 10 for Saddleback at the 35. Go over to Carrillo Edward. Cuts back, takes it back to the middle, and basically it's just, I'll call it a screen pass. And then we have a little vanilla pie on the thing. Oh, no, that's a bunch of yellow hankies, so I guess it's a penalty on somebody on the field.
They're going to call Jeremy DeBorn after the play unnecessary roughness or unsportsmanlike conduct. She's going to add 15 yards to that run. And again, the Bourne going out. Chris Harm back in the middle.
After the play is over, personal foul, number 28 of the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty. That's down.
And Fullerton on the interior, Carl Neesmith, Michael Small, Terrence Hansbrough Jr., and Carlo Torres. Harm, McNeely, and Biso are the backers. Ty Milton on the far side. Kearns and Grant at safeties. Near side is Little. Saddleback moving left to right.
Carrillo Edward to the near side of the field. Benedict to the far side of the field. Manacero at running back. Burwald at quarterback. First down and 10 at the 45 for Saddleback. Fullerton comes on up defensively. They look like they're bringing pressure. They hand it off to Manacero, who is welcomed in the backfield by the Hornets.
Hi, my name is Carl, not CJ. My name is Carl with Mr. Neesmith, 17 tackles, 4 sacks, 6 tackles for loss now.
Loss of 1. Second down and 11 for the Bobcats. Edgar stays on the near side of the field. Benedict stays in the slot. Manacero at running back. Burwell looks things over. Second down and 11, right at the 45. Burwell goes to the right side. Should be picked, caught by Carrillo Edward and Corey Neyland. It's another defensive back that says, I got no hands and I can't knock it down.
Jordan Little, if you can't pick it off, knock it down. Tip drill, this time for the offense. Carrillo Edgar stays with it on that near side.
First down, Bobcats at the 30. Burwell says thank you. Manacero says, I'd take it too if you'd throw it to me. Nice little catch over there, but a better tackle at the 32-yard line.
Kadari Karns makes the stop, and Duncan thought he had some room, Mark.
Yeah, which Duncan got taken down quickly. Duncan now comes to the near side of the field next to Edward. Manacero running back. Second down and 12 at the 31 for the Bobcats. Burwald keeps it himself, tries to go to the corner, hops over one, keeps going the outside, turns the corner, finally gets taken out at about the 18-yard line.
Gain of 10, Mark. That should have been a gain of 3 at the most. Again, Burwald showing nifty feet coming to the right side and moving up the field.
So Burwald stays in. Manacero at running back. First down and 10 at the 18 for the Bobcats. 5:25 to go. They're on the move, trying to get something on the board. Brian Crooks brings pressure. They throw it over into the slot. Quick little 7 yards, pitch and catch, Corey Neyland, for a nice gain on the play.
Yeah, Collins was there. If he doesn't fall down, he might have scored, but DeJuan Grant gets credit for the tackle. You got it.
Second down and 5. Burwald on a roll right now. Burwald goes back. Now we should get a flag on the play.
Offsides, number 9 by the defense. Contact with the lineman. That's a dead ball foul, 5-yard penalty. Still be second down.
I was going to say Fullerton, 38 sacks on the season. Is first in the SCFA. They only give up 11 points per game. This is the second drive.
That'll be a first down.
This is the second drive that Saddleback is in the red zone.
So it's first and goal from the 7. Manacero at running back. Burwald at quarterback. Carrillo Edward at the right side. He's been the hot receiver for this Bobcat team. 4:52 to go. 17-0. The Hornets trying to pitch that first half shutout. They're sneaking up. Burwald says, throw it to me. Touchdown. Flag.
No touchdown.
No touchdown. He didn't come down with it, but
Drop
we're
it.
going to have roughing the passer against the Hornets.
Chris Harm was in the backfield as quickly as possible, but he was just a step late on that throw.
So the play is negated by a personal foul against the Hornet defense, and you just get to creep a little closer if you're Saddleback.
First and goal at the 3.
Manacero says, guys, I haven't touched the ball in a while. Manacero, Burwell look at each other. 4:47. Manacero says, let me dance. Cut to the right. Get down to about the 2. Be second and goal for the Bobcats after he goes off left tackle and dances back towards the right side.
Yes, Jeremiah with the stop. And again, this is where your ends are going to have to be textbook and stay at home.
Manacero stays in Burwell. Tight formation for the Bobcats. Watch Burwell, the quarterback, take off on his own. Hands it to Manacero, who says, well, I tried to go somewhere, Ryan Osborn, but I went nowhere except into a pile of Hornets.
Yeah, and excellent penetration there into the backfield there for the Hornets. One thing that you're looking at, you were talking about the linebackers earlier in this game, Corey. They have anticipated so well. 3 pass breakups, 2 tackles for loss, an interception. They have been the catalyst, the big unit so far for the Hornets in this first half.
Creel, Edwards to the right, Benedict in the slot. They roll out in that direction. Throw it, ball is knocked down. Incomplete pass. And guys, I'm just going to go to you.
Jeremiah McNeely, tackle on the right side of the field. Jeremiah McNeely, his 9th tackle for loss on second down. Jeremiah McNeely, batted down ball on 3rd down. That's why he's going to be Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, I said it. Him and Biso. And now Frukra.
Timeout. Fullerton. That is the last timeout.
Frukta, excuse me. I read that as an R, not a T. My bad.
You know what? I looked down when you said it. I looked down at it and said, is that it?
No, it wasn't.
As we get time out of the field with 3:24 to go here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ryan Osborn, Gabby Neyland, Corey and Mark, the linguistic guys,
Gabriella Neyland, how you doing?
here on Sportsnet, USA.net. So 3:29 to go. So we'll look at this at halftime, Ryan. I know that when we get you up at halftime, one of the things I really want you to look at, though, is as good as offense is, how good has the defense for this Hornet team been this year? I mean, that's really, I think that's why they're undefeated.
Yeah, and you always can rely on them for a big play to get the momentum started. You go back to Canyons this game as well. San Diego Mesa started off with the defense getting them a big play.
So the Bobcats will try a field goal, spotted at the 10. The kick is up, right through the middle. The kick is good. With 3:25 to go, well, the lead shrinks a little. Not much, a little. It's now the Hornets 17, the Bobcats 3. Here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Remember, Veterans Day is not far away. See somebody that you know that served our armed forces like we do with the Jernigan brothers. Say thank you to them when you have an opportunity. Here on Sportsnet, USA.net, we always want to say thank you to all our veterans that have served our country unselfishly to make this a safer place for us to do, say, and want the way we all do every day of our life. We thank them from the bottom of our hearts here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Sure, Dale's sitting at home thinking about Veterans Day. Dale Jernigan, Corey Neyland's very good friend, lifelong buddy, and a storyteller of Corey Neyland.
Kavion and Jeremy back deep for the Hornets.
There are some stories to be told. Gonzalez goes into the end zone. He slips. He's going to bring it out. Up on the 10. Cuts the corner. Gets pulled out. Ball comes out. Gets picked up on the fumble. Driven back at the 10. So he loses it. Fortunately, the Bobcats that were there did not pick it up.
Yeah, Dylan was there for the Hornets on the spot to corral it. Joseph Malfavon made the tackle, forced the fumble. Let's see if the Hornets, with 3:15 left, can get a score right before halftime.
Holding number 57 of the return team. After this is the goal. First down.
So let's move it back 5 more yards as we get a penalty against your Hornets here on SportsNetUSA.net. 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go.
And Mark, what do you look for if you're a Bobcat defense? Because everything seems to be working in the first half for the Hornets.
You know, I look for a cross over the middle. If I'm a defensive back, I think that's where Nunez is going to look for his receiver on a slant pattern or leaking one of my tight ends out, go down the middle. Ball comes out, and the Bobcats end up recovering it on the 30-yard line.
And that is Brennan Acosta who picks up the fumble. And again, just a simple handoff to Vakapuna from Nunez, and it's dropped at the goal line. So the Bobcats, they were down 17-0, nothing going their way. Field goal on their last possession, get the ball at the 4 here, or they call it the 3, with a chance to go into halftime feeling pretty good.
I tell you what, if you're a Hornet fan, every time you come down here, you got to just sort of look at each other and go, oh, please.
Well, it's always on Halloween, Dia de la Muerta. Yeah, strange things happen.
Cuckoo comes out at quarterback. Manacero gets it faked, and Cuckoo goes Q-Cook. We find out how to say it. Goes in for a touchdown.
And again, remember what we were talking about, the defensive end staying at home and playing assignment football? Well, no, that did not happen.
So Q-Cook fakes it to Manacero on a dive play, keeps it himself, and like Corey said, the tight end crashed in. Q-Cook goes around the end, and now it's a 7-point game. See, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Ball is spotted at 10, kick is up, and the kick is good. With 3:03 to go, well, hold on to your hats and glasses because it is going to be a wild, crazy ride starting in the next half here on SportsNetUSA.net. Ryan, Corey, Gabby. Well, guys, I tell you what, you thought that elevator ride coming up to the 3rd floor here was spooky. We'll see how this first half ends here on SportsNetUSA.net. Riverside feeling comfortable in their game.
Golden West 7-0 against Cerritos. El Camino 10-7 against Ventura.
So Gonzalez is back. See if it goes in the end zone. They leave it there. Kadari Karns takes it at the goal line. Gets hit, stays on his feet, fighting there, finally is taken down at the 20. And now there's talking amongst the players on the field.
Bobcats have that renewed enthusiasm as the second quarter is winding down.
2:53 to go. Corey, Ryan, Gabby. Oh, guys, this could be a long ride home and a lot of donuts here on SportsNetUSA.net. Brandon Nunez, brings them out. Garnett Davis III comes out at running back. 2:53 to go in the first half. Nunez says, I'm going across the middle. Incomplete pass, flag on the play, and guys, I don't know if I like that flag at all. Jordan Tate gets tripped, but I call it incidental contact.
Yeah, you say trip, but watch on the upper body. He came around the top and spun him just a little bit.
Okay, so you say he grabbed him?
Yeah.
And I missed the grab. I saw the trip.
And it wasn't much. It was just slight to throw it off. Because Jordan Tate was running, and you see his body turn just a little bit right at the end. I like the play by D'Amato. Tough call.
Nunez stays back there. Leland Smith to the near side of the field. Jordan Tate goes to the far side of the field. First down and 10 because of the penalty at the 37. Nunez feels the pressure, goes down over that. Right there, Jordan Tate again. And I said he had to wake up, Corey Neyland. Jordan Tate wakes up.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, Mark. That's the thing. When it comes to Jordan Tate, he has the opportunity to be able to get that into some open space, turns around, and is able to twist his body in midair to adjust to that football and make the catch.
Nunez throws all by herself at the 20, down to the 10. Jordan Tate catches it again. So Jordan Tate is all of a sudden said, Mr. Pavlovich, you told me to wake up. I've gotten open 3 times. The ball's been to me twice. As Brandon Nunez now is hot, and they call timeout quickly at the 10. So Brandon Nunez having a good time on the field here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
And that's how you know that he's within rhythm, Mark, because you see him, he steps into the pocket, realizes that there's a lot of pressure going to the outside of him. He steps past that pressure, lets the guy go by him, runs over to his right, and still keeps his head upfield. He's not immediately going to take off down the field because he knows that the clock is ticking in the first half, but is able to slow himself down, process what he sees, and sends it down the field for a completion of over 15 yards. When you see him have those chances to process what he's reading and then successfully get it upfield, that's when you know that Brandon Nunez is clicking on all cylinders.
So we'll see if they can get in the end zone here. As Saddleback had
who's
all
that?
possession.
Who's that?
Saddleback had all possession of this first half and all momentum, I should say. But Fullerton has quieted that down on this drive.
Smith and Tate to the near side of the field. Nunez at quarterback. Garnett Davis III in at running back. Nunez steps up, goes to back of the end zone, on the ground, incomplete pass.
Now he's looking for Stewart on the out. Good coverage in the backfield, or excuse me, in the end zone. That time that was Jonathan Nelson.
So Smith and Tate stay here to the near side of the field. Garnett Davis III stays in at running back. Nunez at quarterback. Second and goal. Thrown over into the flat. Quick little turn. Touchdown, Fullerton College.
Christian Stewart again showing he's been in the weight room just a little bit as he runs through one at the 5, over one at the 2, and rolls himself in there for a touchdown. And again, that could have been disastrous because there was a mishandle on the fake. Nunez with strong hands gets it out to Stewart.
Guys,
third touchdown of the year.
I'd call that a broken play because, like you mentioned, the handoff wasn't clean. And by the time that Nunez gets ready to step into that football, he actually runs into the back of Sammy Davis. And so he has to look over to his right and find a guy because that play breaks down.
Kick is up and the kick is good, but there's a flag on the play, so we'll see if the kick stands.
Hornets are making jazz here on the field today with their scoring, Mark.
Sammy Garcia was there. He was that player.
So The guys are going to let me come on over here and, you know, read all the messages and see what everybody has to say. You don't want me to cry?
So a good response by the Hornets as the Bobcats got it down to 17-10, and Fullerton woke up a little bit on 1 minute and 15-second drive.
Yahoo!
During that kick, guys, there was a personal foul right after the ball was made contact with, so it ends up being a plus 15 for Fullerton on the kickoff.
So they'll kick off from the 50. Hey, guys, little squibber. Go and get the ball. Corey Neyland says no. Put some foot into it with 2 minutes to go. And you're back up 24-10, up by 2 scores. Kaboom. And they kick it halfway down Orange County. So that'll bring them out. So we'll see now if the Bobcats can get something going. The officials are whistling for the ball boys.
And that drive was so quick. Again, it only took 1 minute and about 15 seconds to drive those 75 yards.
Josiah Smith goes to the far side of the field. Edgar stays on the near side of the field. Manacero still in at running back. First down and 10 for the Bobcats. Kukoc looks for the middle. Can't thread the needle there. Tries to get it to Craven. Craven can't pull it in.
And again, that's the most open Bobcat receiver has been all game long. He found the soft spot in the zone, a little miscommunication between Grant and McNeely.
Will Craven stays in the slot. Bendick's over there too. They go back over to Craven. Craven catches it, takes it out to the 30. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and a long 7. Knocked out of bounds, 1:50 to go. This is where the Bobcats, by going this way, Corey, could shoot themselves in the foot, give the ball back over to the Hornets, who are hot right now.
Holding, number 14 of the offense.
So Quentin Ashford makes Carrillo Edgar hold him as he read that little out play. So with that hold, it negates a positive gain, and that was caused by Quentin Ashford on the outside.
Carrillo Edward to the near side of the field. Craven in the slot next to him. 2nd down and 17. Nice little dive play straight up the middle. Taken there by Burak. Ball comes out, and it's
Kadari Karns.
Kadari Karns says, I'm going to go down. Ryan Osborn wakes me up on the play. Thank you.
And Kadari was looking to score again. He's been looking to score ever since San Diego Mason when his brother had an interception of pick 6. So again, I couldn't see who caused the fumble, who was underneath, but Karns did a great job of picking up.
You know, you do know I take pills, don't you? Brandon Nunez says, well, that's okay. Let me show you a pill on this one.
Mark, that was the broadcast cadence.
There we go. First down and 10 at the 25. Nunez steps back. Vakapuna picks up the rush. Brandon Nunez crosses the 20, gets taken down at the 19. Gain of 5 on the play. Everybody quickly gets back. Leland Smith here on the near side. Nunez goes back again, rolls out, dances away, gets taken down in the backfield, goes back behind what was the original line of scrimmage. 3rd down. Clock is running. 1:05 to go.
And there's really no reason for the Hornets to rush. Again, they run 4 wide receivers, 3 on the top side of the field, 1 moving to the north side. And again, nobody in the middle.
Leland Smith near side of the field. Jordan Tate in the slot far side of the field. Brandon Nunez rolls out. throws back, tries to go to Jordan Tate. Did he pull it in? No, incomplete pass.
And again, Fullerton's been deadly over the middle of the field, working in front of the safeties and right behind the linebackers. They're going for the end zone each time with enough time to play. Tate came down on his head on that incompletion.
So Faubert will have it spotted at the 32. You add 10, that's a 42-yard attempt with 36 seconds to go. Timeout on the field.
And this would tie his longest of the season.
Which was good because the kick was off to the left.
So the practice one usually misses. The real one usually goes right through the uprights.
So we'll see that with 35 seconds to go here in the first half. It's the Hornets 24, the Bobcats 10 here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
So, Ryan, I got 17-7 Riverside over San Diego Mesa.
You are correct. If the last I looked, it was at the half.
How can you guys see anything? It's so dark up here. Did you bring any candles? Corey says, this is a great spot. Then the lights go out.
It was a perfect spot.
Faubert says, Mr. Neyland, watch this one. Down the middle. From 42. 35 seconds to go. Ball is spotted. Kick is up. And the kick is no good. Same spot. Same distance. Hook to the left. So, the Bobcats don't find any concern over their turnover. Let's see if they come out quietly and in the half quietly. And the way they look like they're going to line up, it's one of those where let's not make a mistake. We're only down by 14 with 31 seconds to go. It's the Hornets 24, the Bobcats 10 here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
And if I'm not mistaken, Mark, they also get the football to start off the second half.
Knee taken. Clock ticking, defense said, should we run off? Oh, no, they get to run one more play and the officials go, no, that's it. The time will wind out. So as we come to the end of the first half, it's the Hornets 24, the Bobcats 10 here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
Once again, here on SportsNetUSA.net, we welcome all of you who are tuning in and listening to Fullerton College and Saddleback on a near chilly afternoon in South County. As Fullerton College, a historic rival in Saddleback, it has always been a tough game whenever the Hornets try and come down here to Saddleback and get a W. The biggest thing for the Hornets so far has been that the offense, well, we needed them to be able to have a good start. That was the key at the start of the broadcast, and they did exactly that. Their first series on offense, Fullerton College was able to get points on the board, and it hasn't really looked too sputtery, we'll say, for the offense as we've seen in weeks past. For those of you who have kept up to date with the Hornets throughout the entirety of this season, you would notice last week we did not have a game that was played due to the fact that Grossmont did forfeit that matchup. So Fullerton is coming into this week essentially coming out of a bye. So the question coming into today was, what was the energy going to be like? What was the intensity going to be like? And how would the Hornets start off this game? Lots of question marks because, yes, they do appreciate the bye week, but at the same time, if you're this Hornet squad, you're thinking to yourself, well, we've got Saddleback and Riverside as our final two games in the regular season. You would prefer to have that one final game before those matchups so you can kind of finalize what you need to tune up, what you need to fix, what you need to adjust to. And Fullerton didn't get that opportunity because of the forfeit. So last week technically goes down in the books as a 1-0 Fullerton College win. But when you look at this week with Saddleback, who, as we mentioned, historic rivalry, you go back to, like Mark and Corey were mentioning, 2013, Fullerton needed a win at Saddleback and got one. very late in the game. You go back to 2016, Saddleback, the only blemish on a national championship record. 2017, Fullerton College with a big win. And then you go just to a couple years ago. I mean, just even last year, Fullerton College was entering that matchup with one loss. That's Cerritos. Early in the season, they come down here to Saddleback, and Saddleback has a chance late in the game to win, even though Fullerton controlled for most of the first half and into the third quarter. Saddleback-Fullerton historically has been a big-time rivalry, and each side has had their chances to kind of ruin the other team's season. When it comes to Fullerton and Saddleback this year, as we mentioned, Fullerton College does not have a loss to this point in the season, and for Saddleback, they would love to play spoiler. For the Saddleback Bobcats, they don't have the opportunity as of the current moment, should the score hold, to win the conference unless they come back and beat Fullerton and win their final matchup of the season and have Fullerton beat Riverside next week as well. So for Saddleback, they still have a lot to play for this week, considering that they have a chance at the conference championship only if they come back in this game and Fullerton beats Riverside next week. When you take a look at the first half overall, Christian Stewart, a 13-yard touchdown pass from Brandon Nunez to start off the game. That was the first series offensively for the Hornets. And then Fullerton would get a 19-yard field goal with 1:36 left to go in the first quarter from Luke Mamana. Now, when you look at Cameron Woods' 41-yard touchdown pass from Brandon Nunez to make it 17-0 Fullerton, it looked for a while like Fullerton had the control without a singular down. But all it would take is just 2 possessions from Saddleback and a turnover by the Hornets, and a 10-point swing would bring it right back to a 1-possession game. Saddleback got themselves a 21-yard field goal with 3:24 left to go in the second quarter, and just a few seconds later, after a fumble by Fullerton College at the 3-yard line, they were able to get themselves into the end zone with 3:03 left on the clock in the second quarter of play. Now for Fullerton, they were able to respond just under 2 minutes left in the second quarter. They got a 10-yard touchdown pass from Christian Stewart, his second of the game from Brandon Nunez, to make it a 24-10 lead for the Hornets. The stats currently at the half: 13 first downs for both sides, 7 passing for Fullerton. And as you heard from Mark and Corey, Brandon Nunez looks like he's in a nice rhythm. He has had some of his best looks throughout the entirety of this season here in the first half of play. He has looked good, and so far, just by the total yardage, you see that consistency in the stats as well. 151 yards passing for the Hornets to this point, 8 of 18. They are averaging about 8.4 per attempt. 312 total yards for Fullerton College compared to 164 on the other side for Saddleback. Now, the big thing for Fullerton College in the second half of play is going to be third down efficiency. For Fullerton, they are 4 of 8, 50% in the first half, 2 of 4 for Saddleback, and the Hornets 0 of 2 when they go for it on fourth down. Now for Fullerton, Brandon Nunez, 8 of 17, 151 yards and 3 touchdowns with no interceptions. That's been a big deal for him, is making sure that he keeps the ball with Fullerton College. He's done that well in the early going. On the other side, Brandon Burwald, 12 of 17, 92 yards, 2 picks. Both of them for Fullerton College have allowed the Hornets to go down the field and score. Michael Vakapuna, 11 attempts, 86 yards rushing, 43 is his long, 7.8 yards per carry. That's what he's averaging at the moment. Brandon Nunez right behind him, 4 attempts, 52 yards, a long of 51. That came early in the second quarter. On the other side, Brandon Burwald, both of these 2 quarterbacks, one from Fullerton, one from Saddleback, in the top 2 in rushing in the first half. Burwald, 4 attempts, 33 yards, 8.3 that he's averaging on a long of 14. Leading the way receiving-wise was a guy that Mark Pavlovich said he had to step up in the second quarter because we didn't really hear him too much in the first. Well, Jordan Tate, in that second quarter, late specifically in that second quarter, was able to step up there. 3 receptions, 62 yards, averaging about 20 every catch with a long of 28. Cameron Woods has himself a touchdown, 41 yards to the house. He's got 2 receptions for 50 yards, and again, that touchdown. Leading things receiving-wise on the other side, Carrillo Edgar, 4 receptions, 37 yards, a long of 16, and Demario Strong with 3 receptions, 28 yards, and a long of 20. Defense-wise, for both of these two sides, Fullerton College, well, the tackles for loss have not exactly been as high as we have seen in their last 2 weeks of play. Going back to that San Diego Mesa game and also the Palomar game, 3 tackles for loss in total. On the other side, though, for Saddleback, they have 5 tackles for loss, and they have also forced a fumble. On the other side for Fullerton, 2 takeaways through the air, 2 takeaways on the ground. They have forced 2 fumbles. They also have 2 interceptions. Special teams could play a interesting aspect the rest of the way here. Jonathan Faubert 0 for 1 field goal-wise, as he also has 3 extra points made on 3 attempts. Luke Mamana 1 for 1, 19 yards on his field goal. So that's the halftime stats to this point as we take a look at that out-of-town scoreboard and out-of-town rankings overall in the state of California. Now remember, last week, as we've mentioned, Grossmont ended up with a forfeit, which meant that Fullerton College wasn't really going to do all too much in terms of moving up or moving down in the rankings. City College of San Francisco found themselves with the #1 overall ranking in California, an 8-0 record and 7 first-place votes. Riverside City College is #2 at 8-0 as well, with Mount Sac right behind them at #3. But for Riverside, 2 first-place votes, Mount Sac with 1 first-place vote. Now, what's interesting is when you look at the JCAB football poll versus the sports information poll, they actually have Riverside and San Francisco flipped. Riverside City College with 3 first-place votes is tied with City College of San Francisco, also with 3 in the CCCAA football poll. So, coaches poll, sports information poll, both of those kind of flipped, but each of them with the consensus that San Francisco and Riverside are the top 2 teams in the state. Mount San Antonio and Fullerton are the 3 and 4 spot. That rounds up the 8-0 teams in California and also rounds out the undefeated teams in California. There are only 4 left. San Francisco, Riverside, Mount Sac, and Fullerton. Those are the only 4 8-0 teams to this point. College of San Mateo, who came into this season ranked #1 and was looking to keep that going throughout the entirety of the year until they had a little bit of a scuffle about 2 weeks ago where they end up dropping a game to American River. They are 7-1. They're the #5 spot with American River right behind them, also at 7-1. One thing that's going to be interesting to keep an eye on will be Golden West College and how they do the rest of the season. And by the rest of the season, we mean tonight and next week. Their matchup against Mount Sac is going to be crucial if you are a Fullerton College fan. We'll get to that in just a couple of moments when we get to the standings on why that's going to be important. Butte, Ventura, and El Camino round out the top 10 in the state of California. So as we switch over to the out-of-town scoreboard, the question is, how are these teams faring to this point? And as of right now, San Francisco, 59-6, they win over Chabot. Not really the most surprising score when it comes to the fact that San Francisco was 8-0 entering the game and Chabot was 0-8. San Francisco, 9-0 this season. Modesto, 42-28 win over top of Sequoias, with Butte taking a win over Feather River. They are now 7-2, and they look to move up from #8, trying to get themselves back into a top 5 spot. Other teams around the top 10 in the state of California, American River extends their record to 8-1. Sierra is now 5-4 after a loss to American River, 63-21. What's impressive about that game is that American River scored 32 points in the first quarter of play and 17 in the fourth to get them to a very substantial victory over top of Sierra. Fresno City ends up beating Reedley, which is kind of surprising considering how good Reedley has been in each of the last 3 years of play. Reedley drops that one 24-21. Fresno City with a late field goal to win it. And they end up beating Reedley again, 24-21. San Mateo, who is number 5, is looking to stay in the top 5, and they should do so with a 62-7 commanding victory over San Joaquin Delta, and they are going to stay in the top 5 in the state of California, which brings us to the bigger matchups of the night. You go to Southern California, and the number 1 score that everyone is watching when it comes to Fullerton College and what they're going to do in the next 2 weeks, Riverside and San Diego Mesa. It's Riverside 17, San Diego Mesa 7. That's the score as they get to the start of the third quarter of play coming out of the half. Remember, Fullerton College needs a win tonight, and they need a win next week. It does not matter what either of those two teams do if they trade off losses in each of the next 2 weeks. Next week will be the conference championship for Fullerton and Riverside. So Riverside 17, San Diego Mesa 7. That's the score as they enter the third quarter. East LA, who was ranked in the top 6 up until they ended up running into Fullerton College earlier this year, 51-0, and they have dropped to the top 15, but they have a big-time lead over top of San Bernardino Valley. It's starting off the halftime over there, 28-0. East LA with the lead over top of San Bernardino Valley. Mount San Antonio, Mount Sac, 35-7. They have a big lead over Long Beach. The Vikings were trying to play spoiler in that one, and so far, if the score remains the same, with 1:11 left to go in the second quarter of play, Mount Sac has a big-time lead, 35-7 there. Santa Ana and Chaffey, it's 20-12. Chaffey with the lead over Santa Ana. Initially, actually, the last time that I checked, that was a 20-3 lead for Chaffey over top of Santa Ana. So Santa Ana with 9 straight points, and they're trying to get themselves back into it as they start off the third quarter of play. El Camino, who is number 9 in California, 13-7, they lead Ventura as they're about 5 minutes into the third quarter of play there at Ventura. El Camino with a great chance to kind of make their own argument for being in the playoff, but they have to get a bunch of wins and a little bit of help. But they currently are leading Ventura 13-7. Golden West College and Cerritos. That's the big one that Fullerton is also watching. 14-0, Golden West with the lead over top of Cerritos. Now, we get to the point as to why that is a big thing for Fullerton College. You go to the standings and also the playoffs, right? So usually what happens is it's going to be the top 3 conference champions followed by an at-large bid. That's how it works in Southern California. 3 conference champions, 1 at-large bid. So as of right now, if you're looking at it from a conference champion point of view, you're looking at Mount Sac, who is leading their conference, and let's just say things stay the same, right? Mount Sac finds themselves with a conference championship. Then you also add in the fact that Ventura is leading their conference, in addition to Fullerton leading their conference before the Riverside matchup. So if you add it up, that means that as it stands, Mount Sac, in addition to Ventura, in addition to the winner of Fullerton Riverside, would be the 3 conference champions in the state playoff from Southern California. Well, that leaves 1 at-large bid, and it's going to go to either Golden West College because of their record to this point in the season, which is 5-0 in conference and 7-1 overall, or it's going to go to the loser of Fullerton versus Riverside. Fullerton Riverside is a big matchup because it would pit either the number 1 or number 2 team in the country, if not just the state of California, versus the number 4 team in the state of California. Fullerton right now, the number 4 team. Riverside, as we mentioned, the number 1 team in California. So Fullerton Riverside next week is the conference championship. We know that. When you look at Golden West, they can slide in as the at-large bid depending on what they do in the next couple of weeks, especially considering the fact that next week it's Golden West and Mount Sac. If Golden West gets a win over Mount Sac next week, well, Mount Sac has the more impressive resume over a team like Riverside or Fullerton. So one would assume if Mount Sac is the team that loses next week and Golden West wins their conference championship, it would be Mount Sac who gets the at-large bid over either Fullerton or Riverside. That's why that game is so important, because you know that Mount Sac is going to go into next week having a chance to win a conference championship. Golden West would have the same. The loser of that game, if it's Mount Sac, they're going to end up being the at-large bid, plain and simple, over Riverside and Fullerton, because they have a more impressive resume. If it's Golden West who ends up losing that game next week, Fullerton or Riverside would find themselves into the state playoffs. So, Golden West, right now, over Cerritos, 14-0. It's important to keep an eye on that out-of-town scoreboard, in addition to what Fullerton College is doing. So that's just a little bit of the out-of-town rankings, out-of-town scoreboard, and also the halftime stats. When you take a look at Fullerton College and Saddleback, again, our score at the half and getting set for the third quarter of play is 24-10. Fullerton College with the lead. They lead it by 2 scores, 14 points for the Hornets. We're getting set to come back from the half in just a couple of moments, but we do want to thank everyone who is joining us online from all across the country, who has supported SportsNetUSA.net and also supported the Hornets while they are on the air. It's more of an imaginative broadcast here tonight, guys, between Fullerton College and Saddleback. Lots of laughs from the broadcast location, as we always do have. But when you look at Fullerton College versus Saddleback, guys, I was talking about the stats going into the half between these two sides. If you look at it from total yards, Fullerton has the clear advantage, but yet Saddleback, all it took was 33 seconds, and they were within 1 score.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's this game. You can win or lose by making a mistake. A mistake happened, and that allowed them to get back in the game. I think the big difference here, besides us laughing and pleasing everybody that's listening to us here on SportsNetUSA.net, I, like what Ryan Osborn, want to thank everybody. It's the consistency and the fast start, Mr. Neyland, that's made the difference tonight. If they started slow, like they have in the last 3 games, this would be a different outcome here in the first half right now. Brandon Nunez just as smooth as a brand new Cadillac when you watch him on the field tonight. And Mr. Vakapuna, well, I tell you what, you make me proud to be a little guy with stubby legs, because I know that if I was younger, I might at least get 10 yards in a football game. He flies for a running back who doesn't really look like a running back.
And see, I'm going to have to disagree with you there. He's a guy, Elvis looks like a running back. He's one of those guys out there that he doesn't look like a running back he does look like a running back, but he's fast, he's strong, and he's 5'9", 215. That's running back material, but you get deceptive because of that 5'9" stature. 11 carries, 86 yards in that first half. You mentioned Brandon Nunez, as Ryan mentioned, 151 yards and 3 scores. I think they have the perfect complement of running back receivers. Jordan Tate, 3 for 62. Cameron Woods, 2 for 50. Christian Stewart, 2 for 23. Not a bad average for Christian. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 23 yards.
Yeah, and what you like about Brandon Nunez is he moves the ball around. He doesn't have necessarily a favorite as a receiver in every game where you go, hey, if I stop you, I know we're going to win the football game, because he's going to throw it to you every time.
Yeah, Brandon Burwald on the opposite side, 12 of 17, 92 yards, but he's got 2 big picks. Also has 33 yards rushing. His leading receiver, Marcus Carrillo Edgar, 4 receptions for 37 yards. for Fullerton.
Josiah Smith. Oh no, that's going to be Ezekiel Pierce is going to be back deep along with Barak on the kickoff for the Bobcats, the Hornets. They received it in the first half. We'll kick off here in the second half. So Barak and Pierce back deep for the Bobcats, trailing by 14, 24-10. As we head into the second half, the Hornets need a win to stay even with Riverside here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Taking it to 5, to the 10. Pierce goes all the way up, gets leveled at the 25 as Ezekiel Pierce thought he had a lane, and all of a sudden the yellow cones came up and said, sorry, move over to the right. Be first down and 10 for the Bobcats at the 25.
And that was Giovanni Welch who makes the stop and the big hit. 2 interceptions in the first half. Branson Biso, with one. DeJuan Grant with the other. Kadari Karns forced 1 fumble. Ty Milton had a fumble recovery. Kadari also had a fumble recovery in that first half.
Kukuk comes in at quarterback. Manacero at running back. First down and 10 at the 25. Manacero takes it to the left side, off tackle, gets hit, gain of 5 on the play, flag on the play to start the second half.
Kadari first hit had 4 tackles in the first half.
So we're going to move it back.
Jeremiah also had 4. Leading the way in the first half was Quentin Ashford, who had 5 tackles. He starts on the near side, and Saddleback's moving left to right. The far side corner is Ty Milton. Grant and Kearns are the safeties.
Sears and Edgar to the near side of the field. Move it back to the 18. Manacero again takes it up the middle, gets back to the 20. Gain of 2 on the play.
And again, Jeremiah is there again. So Jeremiah, Chris, and Biso are the backers. Heel and Torres are the ends. Crawford and Harris are interior.
Collins on the far side of the field. Edgar near side of the field. Kukuk goes back, going to floor over the flat. All by yourself. Don't cover anybody. And that's what happens with Jacob Sears as he gets a first down for the Bobcats.
So DeJuan Grant and miscommunication with Quentin Ashford. Quentin let him go. They ran into a zone off the blitz from Biso and McNeely. And good pass by Kukuk.
Take it out to the 46. First down and 10 for the Bobcats. Kukuk hands it off to Manacero. Goes off a right tackle. Gain of 3 on the play. They're going to mark him down at the 49. Be a second down and 7.
Written down by Ant and Eric.
Edgar stays to the near side of the field. Manacero stays in at running back. Kukuk looks over. Second down and 7. They're coming. Throw it over. Trying to get basically a receiver screen. No place because no blocks are made and the defensive backs coming quickly to make the tackle.
Yeah, Ty Milton did an excellent job of clogging up that play. And again, that's the 3rd time they've run that play. They want big yardage, but they got none.
Sears comes to the near side of the field. Edgar stays here. Manacero there. Big 3rd down and 6. Right at midfield. Hornets almost come up. Bobcats look over to their right to get it. 12:28 on the clock. 3rd down. Bobcats look again. Manacero stays in his position. Here they come. The Hornets coming up. Going down deep. Open in the middle of the field. Nobody's got him. And Sears just says, thank you for leaving me alone. Jacob Sears gets a touchdown.
It took 8 games for an offensive team against the Fullerton defense to do a pump and go. And so they pump and go. They get Sears on the outside. And what happens is Dewan and Kadari are not there. They come up and play for the interception, which they've been prone to do all season. They pumped it. Sears goes. And the rest is a long touchdown pass.
12:07 here in the third quarter. And it's gotten a little tighter here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Sears' third touchdown of the season, his longest catch of the season of 56 yards.
So the ball will be spotted. The kick is up. And the kick is good. With 12:07 to go. Well, the Hornets were hooking, trying, grabbing, biting, and it didn't do any good because on the last play, everybody said, I'm tired. I'm going to lay down and let you go.
Well, they did bite.
Oh, okay. They bit on the pump.
They did.
And then they laid down on the go.
They did.
And now it's the Hornets 24, the Bobcats 17 here on SportsNetUSA.net.
And I was talking about this at the half, is just how quick this Saddleback offense can get themselves on the board. I mean, you saw it when they got the turnover at the 3-yard line. They were in the end zone just about a play or two later. You see the offense here for Saddleback. 2 different times they find a receiver open in that pocket of space along the sideline and then down the middle of the field. When you see this Saddleback offense, they may not click at all times during the game, but when they strike, they don't need a lot of time to be able to put points on board.
And how big was it on the turnover, getting nothing out at the end of the first half? Not even 3. You got nothing. And so you're only up by 7 now with an entire third quarter and fourth quarter to go here on SportsNetUSA.net.
But that's what makes these games between these two teams so magnificent.
Makes me old. Older. So, personal foul during the touchdown. So, Saddleback will kick off from the 50. Squib kick. That's what I looked for before. Saddleback's got the football.
They'll have the football, but not for long because that ball was contacted by the kicker within 5 yards of it being released from his foot. So the rule states you have to wait until 10 yards. He got that ball off his chest 5 yards after he kicked it.
So what Ryan's telling you is you can't, on the kicking team, touch the ball till it goes 10 yards or is touched by an offensive player on who you're kicking to.
Right.
If the Hornets would have touched it, it's a live ball.
5-yard penalty, re-kick.
So they're calling offsides, Ryan, on it, not an illegal touch by the kicking team.
And that ball clearly changed direction at the, well, what we used to hear, the 55-yard line.
Yeah, the 55-yard line, it was touched.
And this is where people will argue with this rule because you get to attempt it again, an onside kick. So the kicking team is not penalized for an offsides on the play.
Well, you just back it up 5 yards.
They're still not penalized. They get to do it again. If it worked once, it might work twice. We'll see if that's what they do. They decide not to. They're going to go deep into the end zone, out of the end zone for a touchback.
And if you notice, it only went 9 yards when he had the ball and came down on it. So either way, Fullerton's got the ball on offense, and we'll see if they can come out strong. The leading tackler in the first half for the Bobcats was Travis Arena. He had 5 big tackles.
So the Hornets come up, 12:04 to go here in the third quarter, up by 7 because the Bobcats just marched down the field. Leland Smith comes to the near side of the field. C.J. Broy is in the slot next to him. Jordan Tate. Bakapuna straight up the middle, off tackle, gains 8 on the play.
Mark, you and I always talk about Vakapuna and the way that he's willing to go into contact. You see him there. He just goes right at the guy who is setting the edge and is able to drive him backwards for 8.
2nd down and 2. Nunez Says if it worked once, it should work again. Vakapuna says thank you very much. First down for the Hornets at the 38.
And he's a smaller version of Rafael Rice. He's a guy out there. Rafael Rice had some speed in the open field, but very powerful. He went about 5'11", 6 feet. Vakapuna, 5'9", but again, powerful but fast in the open field.
First down and 10, right at the 38. Brandon Nunez keeps it himself, goes up the middle on a quarterback keeper, gain of 5 on the play. So a steady diet of running the football has started the Hornets here on their first turn with the football. Second down and 5 at the 45. Vakapuna says, I'll take it again. Crawls up to the 50, first down for the Hornets.
And the Hornets trying to slow the game down just a little bit, running the ball three straight plays, get that offensive line going, and really trying to slow down the momentum of the Bobcats that they have.
C.J. Broy, Smith, and Tate to the right side. Brandon Nunez straight up the middle. Nunez at the 30, 35, drugged down at the 18-yard line. Brandon Nunez. First down, Hornets, all on the ground to start this drive.
30-yard sprint by Brandon.
They mark him down at the 20. He goes back, has time. He's going to take off running. Turns the corner, heads for the sidelines. Goes out of bounds, and he's lucky that he kept running because, Corey, he could have been hit late, would have been a penalty against the Bobcats. But Nunez picks up 7 on the play.
After 30 yards and 7 yards, we'll see if Elvis gets the ball one more time.
C.J. Broy goes to the far side of the field.
5
Stewart
straight run plays, Mark. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Stewart went with it. Make it 6. Nunez turns back in. First and goal at the 8 for the Hornets. So they started at their own 25. They are not down at the 8. They're going to mark them just across the 10. It's still enough for a first down. It'll be first and goal, let's say, from the 10. Hornets trying to pick up 75 yards of yardage on the ground and a few points. Vakapuna goes up the middle. They're going to mark him down at the 5.5-yard line, second and goal for the Hornets.
Andrew Sanders, the left guard. Cook, the left tackle. Cook is the left guard. Sia Tanu'u is the center. Sammy Garcia, right guard. Right tackle is Nichols.
Seward out at the far side. Smith at the near side. Tate and Broy in the slot on the far side of the field. Second and goal. Nunez goes back. Throws across the middle. Touchdown, Leland Smith.
And let's give this drive that 75 yards. Brandon Nunez had a nice run. Vakapuna did a nice job. Smith catches a touchdown, but it's the 5 guys up front who took control of that drive and allowed them to score in 8 plays.
So they march 75 yards, answer the Bobcats, and go back up again by 2 scores. Faubert comes in for the point after. Spotted at the 10, add 10 to it, 20 yards attempt. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 8:39 to go, here in the third quarter, it's now the Hornets 31, the Bobcats 17, here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
4th touchdown in 2 weeks for Leland Smith, 4th touchdown throwing for Brandon Nunez.
Going back to that Palomar matchup, you guys and myself listening to you guys call that Palomar matchup, you guys were calling Leland Smith, who essentially took over the back half of that game. You see him there, a quick route that he is able to make one quick cut and shake off his defender and get himself into the clear. Just the way that he has decided, I am going to take over games when he has the opportunity to, has been impressive in each of the last 2 weeks.
And I'm going to tout Brandon Nunez. One thing you guys have always liked about him, I look for my first read. My first read is not there. I'm taking off running. That's what he's done tonight. He's been very decisive in everything he's done. even on the pass play to Leland Smith. That's who he wanted. Leland was open. He got rid of it, guys, and let Smith do the rest of the work. Hornets up by 2 scores again. That one little shot that drops short in front of Pierce goes into the end zone for a touchback. So with 8:39 to go, it's the Hornets 31, the Bobcats 17 here on SportsNetUSA.net. I got driving music. If I'm driving, I'm going to Discount Markets of Fullerton, located on Raymond between Chapman and Commonwealth. That's right. Get some donuts, get some pastry, maybe a little milk, a little coffee. Breakfast for tomorrow. That's what we'll do here on SportsNetUSA.net. Kukuk comes back out. Burak. Paulo comes back out at running back for the Bobcats. First down and 10 at the 25. Burak catches it on a pitch to the outside. Cuts back up the middle. Gets a gain of a long 2 on a solid hit. And then a few words exchanged at the end of that play. Carrillo Edward here to, Edgar here to the near side of the field. Corey Neyland said, you called him Edward once. I said, I did? I guess I did. I just did then. Kukak looks, goes over. Again, tip, intercepted at the 35 by the Hornets. Taken back to the 30. Corey Neyland, that play finally comes up big.
That encapsulates what Jeremiah McNeely is as a linebacker. You need a big play, he's always there. You tip it up, tip drill to yourself, you make the interception, his first of the season. But again, that's player of the year defensively. And yes, I'm being a homer.
And Corey, you go back to the concentration there. Yes, he gets the tip. He knows he has a guy directly behind him, but he knows where that deflection is going to. He immediately is able to spot it and catch it with 2 hands. A lot of times you'll see it where linebackers will tip that. They'll try and catch it, but they turn their head upfield because they're thinking, I've got green grass in front of me. Instead, he secures the football first and then moves his way up the field.
Nunez comes out. Says, hey, let's run it again. Garnett Davis the third almost had a footstep. Corey Neyland, I was going to kiss him goodbye and say, touchdown.
Yeah, Brendan Acosta makes the tackle again off the ankle tackle and saves a touchdown. Go back to Jeremiah. That's what makes him different. That's what makes him special. Him and Biso on the outside. We haven't seen all the teams this year, but again, those are 2 of the better linebackers in the state of California.
Gain of 3 on the play. Nunez brings them out. Here come the Bobcats. Confusion in the middle of the field. They tried to blitz, wanted to catch Nunez. They do stop the running play right at the 26-yard line. Garnett Davis III couldn't get any place. So it'll be 3rd down, and I'm going to make it a long 6.
Mark, you see there, Cameron Woods gets the touch once again. You're looking at Woods having an excellent game in this one, having a big-time impact.
Nunez going down here. In the hands, touchdown, Leland Smith.
What you say about taking over?
Touchdown, Leland. He said, hey, I tell you what, I'm number 1 in receptions.
And it's funny, Brandon did a little
pump fake,
and then Leland did a little shimmy at the 15, and he goes up the field working on K.O. Wallace, and that's unfair as Wallace is getting up slowly. Leland Smith is on fire. 5 touchdowns in 2 games, 9 receptions, 212 against Palomar. We'll get his stats in just a moment. 5th touchdown thrown by Brandon.
Kick is up, and the kick is good. So it's 6:35 to go. Here in the 3rd quarter, it's now the Hornets 38, the Bobcat 17 on sportsnetusa.net.
And they haven't updated live stats just yet.
Not quite, but once we get that update, we will pass it along. But going back to what you mentioned, Corey, the takeover of Leland Smith, he is able to use his hands so well to keep that defensive back away from him, get that separation, but also not turn it into a penalty on his own right.
Yeah, Leland, when you think about it, guys, he had 22 receptions coming into tonight for 602 yards, 86 yards a game, 7 touchdowns is what he had. Average catch, 27.5 yards per catch.
And I believe that's his first 2 receptions
Of the night.
So again, Christian Stewart, 2 receptions in the first half, 2 touchdowns. Leland Smith, 2 receptions in the third quarter, 2 touchdowns.
And it's 38-17 now. Favor of the Hornets. Bobcats take it down at the, see where they mark him at, as that was Smith, taking it up to, wait to see, they're going to mark it at the 29? Yep, the 29-yard line. So Josiah Smith returns it all the way to the 29.
So Fullerton
Smith,
looking good, Mark.
They are. Smith goes to the far side of the field.
And again, it was just 24-17 at the start, after the first drive of the third quarter for the Bobcats.
Yeah, and the Bobcats came out, looked like they were ready to play, and then the Hornet defense steps up again on a 1st down and 10. Run it to Manacero. Manacero cuts the corner, goes the outside. Gain of 4 on the play.
Tackled by Ty Milton. And we talked to the coaches a few games ago actually, and they said if our corners can come up and make solid plays, we're going to be maybe the best defense in the state. They have done that the last few games. Defensively, 2nd in yards per game, 2nd in rush per game, 1st in sacks, 1st in points per game defensively.
2nd down and 5. Right at the 35. Kukuk still at quarterback. Hands it off to Manacero again. Dodges, weaves his way for a gain of 4. Just short. We've got a flag dropped right at the 33-yard line.
Number 88 of the offense. 10-yard penalty.
And that's going to bring it back against the Bobcats. Holding against them with 5:47 to go. 38-17. In favor of the Hornets.
That's a bad call, Mark. I mean, Lyon was there. He had a good block on the end. Didn't see the hold.
2nd down and 14. Little out pattern, just enough to get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to make it a workable 3rd down for the Bobcats at the 30.
And guys, those stats we read are from the SCFA. So they're the number 2 defense in the SCFA. I'm going to give them number 1 just because they're in the national division.
Smith to the far side of the field. Edgar to the near side of the field. Monacero at running back. 3rd down and 9 at the 30. Kukuk gets hit. Swallowed up in the backfield. First sack of the game tonight?
Second sack of the game, and that's Carl who makes the stop. Should probably thank everybody for listening. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope everybody's happy.
I'll let Ryan do that.
What, you're going to thank everybody?
Yeah, once the punt is over.
Oh, okay. Thank all the happy people. No real rush by the Hornets. Kadari lets it take a hop. Cuts the outside. He's got a wall. He had a gap. Turns, stays on his feet. Needs one more block. Cuts back to the middle. Going back against the green. Needs outrun everybody. At the 20. At the 10. Touchdown Hornets. Finally a return this year.
70 yards for Kadari, your starting safety, gets mobbed on the far sideline on the track. And to explain this run, It was magnificent. He catches it out of bounds at the 30. He's moving right to left, so he's moving around the block to the left side of the field. So he's coming near side to us. Stumbles, almost trips, great balance at the 30, 45, and 50. Then gets held up. So now I'm going to cut across the field. Now I'm going to the right side of the field, and he goes down the right hash mark and scores.
Hornets going for 2. Flip it out to right-hand side. C.J. Broy on a backward pass to C.J. Broy behind the line of scrimmage. C.J. then throws it. Was it C.J.? It was Gonzalez? Jeremy Gonzalez. I thought it was C.J. Then they throw it back, and Leland was in there. A Hornet is down on the field. So the 2-point conversion is good on a trick play.
So Jeremy doesn't have a touchdown reception this season, but he's got a touchdown, or excuse me, a 2-point conversion pass. And I can't see who the injured Hornet is.
So it quickly becomes 46-17.
24-17 with about 9 minutes to play in this third quarter.
You know what? I got to go back to Kadari Red because you're talking about it, Corey. He cuts this way. I'm ready to yell touchdown. Like you know me, I'll yell it when they're 25 yards out.
Yeah, and at the 45 on the left hash mark, he but changes angles on the 45 left hash mark. Saddleback finally catches up. So he goes to the right side, gets to the right hash mark, and he's got a wall of Fullerton Hornets with him.
And then he cuts back.
Yeah, and he cuts straight back. He almost fell at the 45 of Fullerton. Regains his balance at the 45 of Saddleback. Cuts directions and great field blocking by the Hornets. Got away with a little bit push in the back there at the end, but it didn't disrupt the play. But again, outstanding return by Mr. Karns.
First punt return of the year for Fullerton College.
Yeah, punt return, kickoff return, and that's Braden Cook. Oh, I thought that was Cook, so that's Siatanuu.
So the Hornets decided to just make the 3 old guys a little more excited.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look at my program again because I thought that was Braden Cook. But we'll see if it was Malosi. $62 for the Hornets.
Okay. I'm not good at sign language. So that's Sanutu.
Oh, it is Siatanuu. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So Malosi was the injured Hornet. Yeah, I'm going to have to change numbers.
He's 62.
Okay. And that's why Nick was over there. That's why he was so concerned.
He's 9 years younger than me.
So I've been calling him Cook all game long. He's had some outstanding blocks.
Little pooch kick. Guys go up for it, so the Hornets try a pooch kick, taken at the 35. Now there's talking on the other side of the field. And you don't know who's talking to who.
Guys, Fullerton also has their first 100-yard rusher of the season. Elvis Vakapuna, 15 carries, 109 yards. Brandon, 183 yards through the air, 5 touchdown passes. Leland, 1 rush, 15 yards, 2 catches, 32 yards.
Pierce in the backfield for Saddleback. Looking to make a run. Throws it out in the flat. Nobody's there. Turns at the 40, 50. Needs to get a block. 40, 30, 20. Down. Just short was Pierce Tanga. So Pierce Tanga catches it out in the flat, and then after he runs with it, picks up 30-some-odd yards on the play. All the way down into Fullerton territory. First down and 10 at the 32 for the Bobcats. Nice improvisation by the Bobcats there. Ezekiel Pierce still in at running back. Hand it off to him, goes off left tackle, gets a gain of 5 on the play for the Bobcats. Second down and 5 at the 28-yard line. 3:15 to go. The Hornets 46, the Bobcats 17 here on Sportsnet USA.net. Bobcats not giving up, looking to get a big play right here and feel like they're back in it with 2:56 to go here in the third quarter. Going off in the flat to Edgar. Up, air, bout, out, flag at the 1, pass interference.
They're going to say because Mo didn't turn around, made a little bit of contact at the goal line, they're going to say pass interference on Mr. Gamage.
Ryan Osborn, I'm just curious, the Riverside game close to the end?
I can give you that answer in just a second.
Okay.
That's 15 yards to the previous spot. First down.
And if you're gonna call the pass interference on Diamato earlier in the ball game, you're gonna have to call pass interference on that one. Not much contact, but there was contact before the ball was delivered.
So they're going to move that down to the 13. First down and 10 for the Bobcats. The 13. Look over the sidelines. Ezekiel Pierce stays in at running back. Now he goes from the left of the quarterback to directly behind him. Big first down play. Quarterback rolls out. Comes back the other direction. Tides finally finds their tight end. Another secret weapon that never gets talked about. And then we have shoving on the sidelines. Oh boy, guys, howdy. It is getting perky down on the field.
Update from Riverside. It is actually from San Diego Mesa. It is Riverside 31, San Diego Mesa 13 as they start the fourth quarter of play.
Similar to this game. Touchdown by Pierce. Ezekiel Pierce goes straight up the middle and scores a touchdown for the Bobcats. So the Bobcats not going away quietly in this second half here on Sportsnet USA.net as Pierce goes up and makes it. Ezekiel Pierce, freshman this year, 5'10", 205 pounds. Pierce so far this year, 295 yards on the ground. That's his 5th touchdown of the year for the Bobcats. Kick is up, kick is good. It's now 46-25 with 2:13 to go here in the third quarter on Sportsnet USA.net.
And here on SportsNetUSA.net, we do want to thank everyone who has joined us all season long and has kept up to date with the Hornets. A big thank you to all of our supporters out there here on SportsNetUSA.net. It has been a joy to cover these Fullerton College Hornets throughout the years, and it continues to be so here this season. When you look at Fullerton College, you see Mark, Corey, who have been here for years as the voices of Fullerton College football, myself for the last 9 years, and we thank everyone who ends up sending us messages and who gives us the opportunity to be able to give you these games live here on SportsNetUSA.net. A big thank you to all of those listening.
Well, we had a punt return. Can we back it off with a kickoff return? We'll see what happens.
Kavion and Christian back.
Deep in the end zone. Backpedaling in the end zone. Looking to make the turn. Looking for a wall. Can't find a wall. Kristen Stewart comes out, takes it out to the 15. Well, the Hornets up by 22, 46-24 with 2:07 to go. Here on Sportsnet, USA.net in the third quarter. Riverside looks like they've got it locked. The Hornets want to make sure they've got this one won. And then next week, 12 noon. In Riverside.
Trey Kukuk,
It'll be the
Mark. 7 of 9, 164 yards in the third quarter.
Wow. It's had a hot third quarter. Like I was saying, next Saturday, conference championship in Riverside.
Looks like Nathan Cornelli is back at quarterback, and he is.
Cornelli comes in. Smooth thrower. We've seen Corneli. You like the way Corneli throws the ball, don't you?
I do. In the times that we've seen him throw the ball downfield, he has been able to fit it into tight windows. You go to those 2 touchdown passes against Southwestern where you looked at it and you said, there is no way without the perfect throw that you're able to fit that ball past the defensive back and into the awaiting arm of a Hornet, and he's done exactly that. So when he gets the opportunity to let his arm loose, it's a beautiful thing.
Corneli at quarterback. Nice little drop run in the middle of the field. Bakapuna again gets a gain over the 20. It's going to be a gain of 6. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 4 at the 21. Elvis, well over 100 this night on SportsNetUSA.net.
As you're talking about Corneli, 10 of 21 now on the season with those 2 touchdowns.
Leland Smith, who's looked good tonight. Corneli goes back, looks at the other side of the field. C.J. Broy catches it. 1st down, Hornets. Broy takes it up to the 30.
And it's good to see C.J. back in the ball game. He took a big hit in the 2nd quarter, but now he's a tough guy. In there for another reception, his 3rd of the game.
So Leland Smith to the near side of the field. Jeremy Gonzalez in the slot next to him. Bakapuna, the running back. Roy to the far side of the field. Corneli at quarterback. 1st and 10 at the 30. He goes back, stands there, throws it, gets hit when he throws it, buried. Incomplete pass.
And they were going to look for a timing route for Broy over the middle. It was going to be a 1-step and slant. But it was a good job by the cornerback throwing him off of his route. And that was Cochise Bradshaw. Threw him off his route, and Corneli had to hold the ball.
Leland comes back. Corneli looks over, gets some motion. We'll see who that's again, because I thought
Sammy Garcia.
they popped up on the line of scrimmage, and you said they did. It's hard to hide them when they're that big, right?
Yeah, Sammy goes about, what, 6'3", 320? Had a solid year as a sophomore.
Moving back 5 yards. Smith stays out here. Second down and 15 for the Hornets. Give it to Elvis. Elvis goes off the right side. Gets a gain maybe of 4. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and a long 11 for the Hornets, just short of the 30-yard line. We're at 30 seconds here in the 3rd quarter. It's the Hornets 46, the Bobcats 24 here on SportsNetUSA.net. Big 3rd down play. The Bobcats feel like they can get back into it. The Hornets want to maintain control. Corneli shows ball, throws across the middle of the field. Incomplete pass, looking for C.J. Broy, and there is a flag. Corey, holding
against Saddleback on the end there. It was a late flag, but it's holding, and they might call pass interference, but it'll be an automatic 1st down. And it's unfortunate for Saddleback because D'Amato, the safety, was helping over the top, and that would have been a tough. Okay, so they called D'Amato for the pass interference, but I thought it was on Bradshaw. Either way, there was that hold against Broy.
So that moves it up to the 40. Smith, Broy, and Tate to the near side of the field. Garnett Davis III in at running back. Corneli at quarterback. Corneli goes back, steps up, down the middle of the field. Tipped, not picked. Going up high and just could not hold on to it.
And that was Brody Wyndham. Brody Wyndham, who read that play from jump. Tate was coming down the seam. And Corneli lofted. If he throws it, that might be 6.
6 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Hornets 46. Saddleback 24. Corneli hands it off to Garnett Davis III. Garnett Davis III gets 2, and that should bring us to the end of the third quarter. As we come to the end of the third quarter, it's the Hornets 46, the Bobcats 24, here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
Update from Riverside, 11:03 left to go in the fourth. It is Riverside 31, San Diego Mesa 13. So the score remains the same there. But the other game that we are monitoring the entire way is Golden West and Cerritos. Golden West 14, Cerritos 14 as well. 1:37 left to go in that one. It is all tied up at 14 apiece.
Wow. I thought they had a pretty good hold on Cerritos when you were talking about it at halftime.
And see, here's the interesting one, too. If you're looking across Southern California, El Camino and Ventura, El Camino 20, Ventura 14. Ventura currently has the lead in their conference. With an El Camino win, they would take over first place and have the tiebreaker over Ventura.
Because of head-to-head?
Because of head-to-head.
And usually in that Northern League, it's usually Ventura, College of the Canyons. College of the Canyons, Ventura. El Camino's had a couple nice teams lately.
3rd down and 9 to start the fourth quarter for the Hornets. Garnett Davis III goes across the 45 to the 46. It's going to bring up a 4th down. And guys, I know I'm old, but is this the first punt?
This is the first punt for Luke Mamana, who's had a tremendous sophomore season. As a freshman, 34 yards per kick. As a sophomore, 39.5 yards per kick.
Let's hope you don't jinx him. Bring pressure up the middle. Mamana gets it off. End over end, signal for a fair catch right there at the 20.
40.
Look at a little short, almost about 40. I was going to say 39.
That's right, his average. 40.
Corey rounds it up.
Always round up.
Don't forget, guys, he also had the 19-yarder earlier in this game that he was credited for on the live stats.
So Saddleback. Defense makes a stop, only down by 22 as we start the fourth. Kukup running for his life, gets hit, throwing it up the middle of the field, up, knocked away at the last second.
DeJuan Grant was there, did a nice job trying to reach high on the shelf to knock that one down.
So it's going to be incomplete, 2nd down and 10, right from the 23-yard line. It's the Hornets 46, the Bobcats 24 here on SportsNetUSA.net. Go to the far side, trying to get that quick little screen to the outside. You throw it to your end. You have your flanker come over and block.
No, didn't happen. Thing of beauty. Ty Milton read that. The flanker mark came over to block. Ty pushed him off, makes the tackle for a gain of only 1.5 yards.
3rd down and a long 7.5. Manacero in the backfield. Cook looks over. It's Burek in the backfield. Thought it was Manacero. Pressure, clock, crossing pattern. Not enough for a 1st down. And if you don't see a linebacker or a lineman standing there in white, you're going to get flattened.
Well, that's the thing. How good is Carlo Torres? He's the left defensive end. He reads the pass over the middle, comes off of the block, and makes the tackle downfield. Carlo has had an outstanding season. 7 sacks, 7 tackles for loss. Both lead the team. That's his 19th tackle of the season.
Kadari Karns is going to be back at the 40. Has a return in this game for a touchdown. Kadari is going to watch this one hit the ground, bounce away from him, back pedals all the way to the 45-yard line. So with 12:46 to go, well, your Hornets are feeling good, and so should you. It's the Hornets 46, the Bobcats 24 here on Sportsnet USA.net. And if you're feeling good and you're looking good, well, that means you only shop one place, and that's Discount Markets of Fullerton, located on Raymond between Commonwealth and Chapman. Take a little ride over there, check out the product, the prices, the people. Discount Markets of Fullerton. Brandon Nunez comes back in at quarterback. Garnett Davis III at running back. The Hornets up by 22. Let's see if it's a ground game. Nunez says, I'm going to throw it to Garnett Davis III on the outside. Garnett takes off, gets hit at the 40 after he crosses midfield. A gain of a nice 20 on the play.
It's a luxury to have Elvis and Garnett in the backfield with you when you need that outlet.
Brandon Nunez goes back again. Arms hit. Ball is up. Should have been picked. So Nunez gets his arm hit. The ball goes straight up, and Corey Neyland.
Yeah, Gallmans goes straight up in McMurray. Tristan McMurray should have had an interception.
But it's nothing.
Nunez comes up a little bit gimpy, and I couldn't tell who got in there on the rush, if it was a blitz from Arena or if it was the lineman, Luter.
Nunez. Second down and 10 from the 36. Hands it off to Garnett Davis III. Wheedles his way through a hole, thrown by the back judge. Should be holding against the Hornets when you see the hanky come out.
They got Big George Dua. Easy call.
So that's going to move it back 10 yards, 12:16 to go.
Yeah, it's funny because it's an easy call because you see the defensive Bryce Kreider come in and do a pirouette. So Fullerton at their average of 47 points per game. Actually 42 points per game, 4 over their average.
They hand it off again to Garnett Davis III. He gets around tackle, breaks it down to the 42. It's going to bring up a third down and 15 for the Hornets. Nunez quickly brings him to the line of scrimmage. Brandon says, if you're not going to take me on, I'm going to take off running. He does, down the field. Brandon Nunez cuts back. First down, Hornets on a beautiful run by Brandon Nunez of over 20 yards.
They need 15, they get 20. Again, the middle opens up, and you're in a man-to-man defense as the Bobcats were.
Brandon Nunez goes back, looks the middle of the field, tries to thread it up and over, incomplete pass.
And it should have been too many men on the field or an offside. The line judge had it. As there were 13 players on the field, that's why Nunez got the quick snap. And it should be 1st and 5 instead of 2nd and 10.
You know what? He looks over at the white hat. Brandon Nunez turned around and went, what? You can see, what?
Yeah, the line judge saw 2 players running off the field, still on the field of play.
But they don't throw the flag, therefore it's just incomplete. Bakapuna comes back in the game at running back. Elvis takes it off of right tackle, gain of 1.
And you know what, guys? Not mad at him. Keep that clock running.
Third down and 9, 10:50 to go, 22-point lead. The Bobcats had an easy one, decided they'd give it back. It wasn't their color or their size. Wholesale exchange of receivers for the Hornets. Leland Smith says, let me go wide to the right. Brandon, look for me. I'll be cutting across the middle. Nunez says, I'll throw it the other way. Incomplete.
And he had Jeremy open in the middle, had a step.
Gonzalez thought he had an opportunity. 4th down. Faubert is going to come out. And this is going to be about a 4. Let's see where they're going to mark it at. right at the 30 is where they're going to spot it at. So you add 10. Full Bear will try a 40-yard attempt for an extra 3 points. 10-21. Kick is up. And the kick is good. With 10-17 to go. It's the Hornets, 49. The Bobcats, 24, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Well, he kicks the ball as well as his sister does, so that's why he made the field goal.
When you take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, Mark, a lot of interesting numbers that are on the board now. Mount Sac very handily is going to get a win over top of Long Beach as they are leading at 49-17 with just under 5 minutes to play in that one. Riverside will also get a win tonight as they lead at 38-17 over San Diego Mesa with just about 5 minutes to play in that one too. However, Golden West and Cerritos. Golden West gets a touchdown with no time remaining. And it's 21-14, a win for the Golden West Rustlers over Cerritos. And, as if that wasn't enough, El Camino is no longer leading with 47 seconds left in their game. Ventura has scored to make it 21-20 with 47 seconds left.
Boy, it messes it up for anybody who thought they were going to sneak into the playoffs, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It
nobody's
really does.
sneaking in.
Fullerton kicks off. Taking it to 10. Looks to go the outside. Cuts back to the middle. Stays on his feet. Gets nailed right there as Burak Paulo brings it all the way up to the 39-yard line. So Paulo Burak with a nice return of 29 yards on the play. Boy, you know, with all those, Ryan, when you look at it, Corey, somebody's going to be really disappointed this season.
There's going to be a couple one-loss teams that are not going to be happy about making the playoffs.
Because they ain't going to be making the playoffs.
That's right. Yeah, they won't be. As Hasuna makes the tackle for Fullerton. He's in for the first time, and there's an injured Bobcat.
A 32-yard touchdown pass with 1:01 left to go is what happened in that Ventura game. And that has gone final. El Camino, the number 8 team in California, had a chance to gain that tiebreaker. And Ventura says, you know what, we're playing at our own home field. We're going to mess that up real quick. And Ventura has essentially clinched their own road to the playoff.
Okay, now, did Golden
Not
West...
saying that they clinched the playoff, but their own road to the playoff
But
next
Golden
week.
West hasn't played Mount Sac yet, right?
That comes up next week.
That comes up next week.
Yes.
So one of them...
Is going to the playoff.
And one of them is not.
Correct.
Well, same thing with Riverside and
Same
Fullerton.
thing with Riverside.
If
If Golden West wins after this play.
Okay. Pump fakes.
the way that I've broken
Can't
it
get an
down,
incomplete pass.
the way that I've broken it down is if Golden West wins, Mount Sac currently has a better resume than Fullerton and Riverside, based on point differential and also who they've beaten. But if Golden West is the team that loses, both Riverside and Fullerton have better resumes than Golden West.
Oh, if Golden West loses, they don't get in because Golden West has already lost once.
Yeah, and overall, their overall record would
that'll
not
be
be
two
as
losses.
good.
Would not allow
Yeah,
them
they'd
to.
have 2 losses. Kuka takes off, looks to go the outside, can't go any place. Looking for his receivers to throw a block, and they do absolutely nothing for him. And the defensemen say, thank you, I'll stop him, just short of the first down.
And that's Nick Doan who makes the stop. And Riverside and Fullerton, they'll have 1 loss apiece. If one of them loses, that'll be their first loss of the season. Mount Sac would have their first loss. Golden West, if they win, Golden West, Mount Sac, and the loser of the Riverside Fullerton would have 1 loss.
They go for it. Up the middle. Should be first down for the Bobcats. So they get to the 50 and move the chain
Good
with
tough
9:18 to go.
Manacero did a nice job. And again, coming into the ball game, Saddleback did a nice job of rushing 177 yards per game, well under that average tonight.
Manacero comes out. First down and 10. Coco looking to go. Here comes the pressure again. He's going to take off on his own. Flips it out to the right. Finds a receiver. And Corey, a nice play. So you find your receiver. Ball comes out.
Kadari Karns gets up slow.
He'll walk off the field. Hurry up offense by the Bobcats.
And that could be huge
Timeout Fullerton.
as he comes off, takes off his helmet and walks over to the sideline very slowly and gingerly.
So it was an official timeout, making sure everything was set up properly. First down and 10 for the Bobcats, right at the 35. Trying to come up, across the middle of the field, behind the receiver. Had him open, but it just could not get it to Jacob Sears, thrown just a little behind Sears' head. Second down and 10 for the Bobcats. Sears stays to the near side of the field. Edgar right next to him. Hornets walk up. Press coverage. Try to run it. Can't. Pierce gets to the 30. So Ezekiel Pierce gets to the 30. Be a third down and 5.
And it is a final in San Diego Mesa. Riverside 38, San Diego Mesa 13. So next week is for all the proverbial marbles.
Game at 12 o'clock next week. Coco keeps it himself. Nice move on the outside. Turns at the 20. It's a foot race. Touchdown! Saddleback.
So from 30 yards away, Q-Cook makes a nice job of Junior Kennedy. Again, if the defensive ends for the Hornets are going to bite down and play out of position like that, they're going to have no chance next week against Riverside. This time, linebackers bit, safeties bit, everybody on the left side of the field, the left side of the field, and Saddleback goes and says, hey, you vacated. Let's get 6.
Riverside beat Saddleback 39-0 when they played. Saddleback has put 30 on that one that boinked off the post up against your Fullerton College Hornets here on SportsNetUSA.net.
And the second and third stringers are in now. But still, you can't be happy about the way that play was called, or not called, but the way they reacted to that play.
So, the way you've got it, Ryan Osborn, whoever wins, let's say Fullerton wins out tonight.
Right.
Whoever wins between Riverside and Fullerton, the winner moves on. The loser goes to a bowl game.
Maybe.
That's if Mount Sac loses.
Is the way you've got it.
Yes.
So
Mount Sac wins, loser of both Fullerton and Riverside go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter who wins.
Yeah.
And then who are the other two teams that make it?
It would be
Ventura,
apparently Ventura.
Yeah, it'll be Ventura if they win next week, Mount Sac if they win next week,
Yep.
Fullerton and Riverside. Those would be the 4 teams
Yep.
that make the playoffs.
And the loser of that game between Riverside and Fullerton would be the at-large team.
Yeah, they'd
Correct.
probably play Mount Sac if Mount Sac wins. But if Golden West wins, then it's a free-for-all. And you know what teams some organizations love?
We know it's not us. Bobcats kick it deep into the end zone for a touchback. Well, storied programs of national championships, Riverside and Fullerton. Shouldn't be anything new with those two teams clashing against each other. Should be a good one. Last year when we saw them play each other, playoff implications if Fullerton won in the playoffs.
Yeah, it was the Southern California Championship game. Riverside ended up getting a win in that one. And don't forget, 2 years ago, Riverside won the state championship as well.
So they've been to 3 straight state championship games.
Well, they went up north last year.
Yeah, last year
Did they play in a game?
Last year they lost.
Oh, they
to
actually
San
played in a
Mateo.
game last year?
Yep.
Year before that they won. Year before that they lost to San Francisco.
Bacapuna turns the corner, gets it out to 30. You do know I was facetious, right? Don't you? What was the score last year in that
if I'm
championship
not
game?
mistaken, it was
I don't think-
49-0.
No, it was more than that. I still
62-0?
Yeah,
One of those two?
College of San Mateo was still scoring. Okay, that's how bad it was.
Brandon Nunez. Second down after Bacapuna picks up 5. Second down and 5 at the 30. Clock is running. 7:09 to go. They're going to use as much time as they can. See if they run the horse the rest of the afternoon here on sports.usa.net. Nunez comes out, gives it off to Michael. Michael turns, goes upfield. Positive gain of 1. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 4. They're up by 19 with 6:40 to go here on sports.usa.net.
So interesting what they call here. We'll see if Brandon keeps it himself or he does hand off to Elvis and try to pick up that 1st down.
Gonzalez in the slot. See if he throws it out. Just quick little out to one of his receivers. Long 3rd down. Right at the 30. Give it up to Bacapuna. Bacapuna gets taken down on a beautiful tackle. Right there. And so.
And again, that's Arena. I believe that's tackle number 10 this evening.
6 minutes. 19 points.
Remember last year, guys, Fullerton was leading by 3 scores, and Saddleback, towards the end of the game, had the opportunity to win it.
Yeah, bring back bad memories for me. Thanks, Ryan. 4th down. Saddleback looking for a return. Wait for the clock every second. Ball's going to hit. Take a bounce in favor of the Hornets. Let the ball go. Gets downed at the 31. 5 minutes and 24 seconds. It's the Hornets 49. Saddleback 30 on sports.usa.net.
45 yards on the kick.
Do you know
4 or 5.
Yeah, you know what? I really don't like this sort of game when it's like this because Ryan whispers in the back of my head, you do know last year. And it's always like that here at Saddleback.
I mean, just go back to that 2016 matchup between these two teams. Fullerton College.
Thank you, Brian Crooks.
Fullerton College with the national championship, but there was only 1 loss on their schedule, and it was down here.
Kuko goes back, looking to go deep, throws it out here in the pack. Incomplete pass, and they were looking for a flag. Edgar was going into the defensive back, trying to get a call. Could not get it.
That was the greatest attempt to get a pass interference call I've ever seen in my life. He's running down the near sideline as they're going right to left, and he jumps, spins like Spider-Man in the air, turns back, tries to hip check Quentin Ashford as he's doing it. Good attempt.
2nd down and 10 for the Bobcats. Just across the 30. 5:17 to go. Nice little slant pass to Edgar. Carrillo Edgar gets it for a 1st down at the 45.
One thing
nice
that
little receiver.
One thing that Kukuk has done really well since entering this ball game is read and wait for his receivers to break out of their routes. He's done that very well and got it behind defensive backs.
Paulo Barak now in there. Throw over there. Taken out of the air, moving the chains, and here they come. Tick, tick, tick. We're at 5 minutes on a great catch by Benedict. 1st down and 10 at the 37. They bring a little pressure. Across the middle of the field. caught at the 26. First down and 10.
And that's Benedict's. And again, they're moving down, and they're utilizing a 2-quarterback system. Burwald plays the first half. Kukuk plays the second half.
4:25, down by 19. So they're down by 4 scores. Even if they get 3 touchdowns with 2 points, that's 24. They're still down by 3 scores. 3 times 8, 24. Yeah, they need 3 scores.
3 scores.
3 scores.
2 touchdowns,
And a
2
field goal.
2-point conversions,
And a field goal.
and a field goal.
I like my thinking better. Second down. Kukuk steps up, pump fakes, gets the middle. I'll take what I can get. Down at the 10. 3:45 to go.
Again, let's see if Fullerton tightens up here. They've been playing a 2 deep on this possession, on this series, I should say.
First down and 10. Cook steps back, sidesteps, gets taken for a sack at the 20.
And again, Carl Neesmith is in there, Junior Kennedy, Eric Heel for the 3rd sack of the game.
3:20 to go here in the 4th quarter. 49-30. The Hornets are trying to shut the door. Saddleback's trying to feel like it's a press defense now by the back. Middle of the field. Knocked out of the air. Corey, there was one that you just go up and almost grab it out of the air for a magnificent interception.
And that's Naborn. Quality player when he has time in there. When he gets in the game, he makes things happen. 28 tackles, or excuse me, 16 tackles, 3 tackles for loss and 2 sacks.
3rd down at the 20. Kukuk goes back. Here come the Hornets. They sack him again, Corey, at the 30. It brings up a 4th down. So they got close. They've been moved backwards, and the defense has picked it up.
And that's Junior Kennedy one more time. Another guy, when he's in there, he makes plays. He and Neesmith, when they're in there, very, very dangerous. Kennedy, that's his 3.5 sacks now.
Big 4th down. Going deep. High pop fly to deep center field. Ball is up. Gets through 3 defensive backs who should have caught the certain out and drops in for a single. But there was nobody on base, so the inning's
Josh
over.
Collins was there. He was in the back, and all he has to do is have a little bit quicker response, and that could have been 6. But again, a desperation heave by the Bobcats just goes unanswered, and that will do it.
Should be means could be.
Will do it.
Next week, 12 o'clock, Riverside. Ryan Osborn says winner takes all.
Winner takes all.
Also next week, make sure you check the scoreboard. Golden West College, winner takes all.
Yeah, if Mount Sac ends up winning the conference, they will be in. Actually, Mount Sac is in no matter what. That is my assumption.
That's yours.
Yeah.
Corey, you agree with that?
Yep.
Okay. So 1 out of the 4 spots is already gone as far as Ryan and Corey are concerned.
And possibly even 2, considering that Ventura got the win tonight and the tiebreaker over El Camino.
The only way Mount Sac doesn't get in is if they lose and lose big.
So you guys are basically saying the only openings are left is the Riverside Fullerton possibility.
1 or 4. That's it.
That's it.
1 or 4.
Yeah. Winner of that game is the number 1 seed. Loser of that game is the number 4 seed.
Okay.
That's presuming Mount
Yeah.
Sac
Yes.
Loses.
is no. That's
They
presuming
win?
that Mount Sac is the conference champion.
Okay. Make sure you show up so you can either celebrate or cry with us next Saturday on sportsnetusa.net.
I would say commiserate, Mark.
I'd say cry. Brandon Nunez turns the corner, runs out of bounds. If the Hornets come out like they did tonight, not on their heels but on their toes, Riverside's in for a fight.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about it all season. This defense is one of the top 5 defenses in the state of California, and they continually give you big plays, and they will give you momentum, plain and simple. Top 3, there you go. They will give you momentum at one point in the game. The question is, can the offense get themselves going right out of the gate? Like Mark mentioned, tonight they did exactly that, and they got themselves the lead and a pad to work with. The defense is going to be there next week. The question is, can you get the offense and special teams to roll at the same time right out of the gate?
So the Hornets come up short on their 3rd down attempt. It's going to be 4th down, 1:31 to go. Your Hornets are up 49-9 to 30 with 1:31 to go. That means they'll win tonight. Next week, it is all. You've heard it from Ryan Osborn. He's worked it out mathematically. Corey Neyland has already said he's the guru of playoff, and I'm the worrying old man over in the corner. They've reassured me that at least we have an opportunity next Saturday at 12 noon against Riverside. It's now if Garrett Campbell, Brian Crooks can get the troops. And boys, if you can't get stirred up about that one, and fans, it has always been a heck of a game with Riverside and Fullerton. So let's all come out next week, support this great team of student athletes, these wonderful educators, these coaches that are with these young men every week, and be there for Fullerton this coming Saturday when Riverside and Fullerton play for the championship in their conference. 1:31 to go. Saddlebacks looking for a miracle. High floater, signaled for a fair catch right at the 22 with 1:24 to go. And we have a fight down on the field with 1:24 to go. Corey Neyland says, I'm not going to deal with this. He walking away.
It's just two different sides battling their own frustrations. Saddleback, like you mentioned, still trying to get themselves back into this one. And like you mentioned, going to need a miracle. And as it stands right now, Fullerton College with the win will end up finding themselves in the conference championship game with the right to go to the state playoff next week against Riverside. So again, for those of you who are listening in, you have the opportunity to go out and support your Hornets at 12 p.m. at Riverside, where they will play for the conference championship, the right to go to the state playoff. If they don't end up getting a victory, they will be playing a lot of scoreboard watching. But as of right now, 12 p.m., Fullerton Riverside for the conference crown.
Kuko comes out. He's had a great 3rd quarter. Followed it up with an adequate 4th quarter. Goes out quickly. Incomplete pass. 2nd down and 10 for the Bobcats. 1 minute and 20 seconds here on SportsNetUSA.net. Ryan Osborn, Corey Neyland, Gabby Neyland, and the old guy bringing you the game tonight here on SportsNetUSA.net. Kuko goes back. Looking. Rolls out, throws it, almost picked.
It is in fact
picked.
It is on the far side. It is Naborn who is going to get the interception. Remember, on the last series, Naborn ended up getting that pass breakup right in the middle of the field, hit his hands, popped down to the floor. In this case, an acrobatic catch for the interception. And you know what, Mark? That's the type of ceiling play for this Fullerton College defense that puts a cap on the performance that they have done here today. You and I and Corey have been talking about this Fullerton College overall staff, from special teams to offense to defense, and it just seems like at any given time, one side of them is going at 100% and in rhythm with chemistry. They're working, but they haven't been able to find that game that all three click.
So, and I'll tell you why I said it was almost picked is he caught it, came down, but he let go of the ball real quick when he hit the ground. I saw the ball roll out.
As Corey Neyland says over to my left, he stood up real quick and dropped it. So in the celebration, ended up going to the floor, picked it back up, and just tossed it off to the floor once again. And that was more of a celebratory drop of the football.
47 seconds to go. So we're going to take the victory knee for the Hornets. So your Hornets are going to go into Riverside undefeated and play the Riverside Tigers, who are undefeated. We'll be there here at sportsnetusa.net. As they take the knee, and that'll take us to the end of this game, as the Hornets are going to come away with a huge victory over Saddleback, 49-30, here on Sportsnet.